You might want to press start.
All right, it's episode Lucky 13, everybody. Lucky 13. Thank you. Hey, thank you, everybody. Hey, you guys back there in the back, we're doing the, hey, thank you. We're doing this show for you. Welcome to episode 13 of the Red Pill Phone Tap. I am Wesley, joined by
Anthony on this bitch.
Anthony is in the house. And it's time to jump right into this. We had a hell of an episode last week all about texting. And Anthony, I think I put a GIF up in a group that you and I are both a part of where Fred Sanford is grabbing at his heart.
Yeah.
That's how I feel when all of these guys start texting. I really do. It hurts. It hurts my soul. It hurts my heart. And, yeah, we're going to jump right into this because we talked about this in the pre-show. You know what really bothers me, Anthony, is that all the guys that we work with, we can't save them all.
Impossible.
We can't save them all. This week, I've had, because of our shows becoming more popular, obviously, we're in 10 countries worldwide.
Nice.
I can't save everybody, but we have more people reaching out to us now than we ever have. And what disturbs me sometimes, Anthony, is sometimes people aren't ready for the truth. And I want to save them so bad, but they just want to jump right back in that bucket of crabs. I kind of want help. No, never mind. I don't like reality too much. So,
typically when you want help, typically medicine is involved, and that shit don't really taste that good.
Well said. Well said, my friend. It's been a little bit of a rough week. We've had people reaching out to us, and we haven't been able to help everybody. We have helped some people, though.
Oh, yeah, of course.
I mean, we've helped some people, but the thing that makes me lie awake at night is the people we can't help. And that's why we're going to cover a couple of segments today. We're going to, as promised to some of the people that follow us online, we're going to cover Red Pill Rage.
Yeah.
Anthony, your takes on Red Pill Rage are great. Immediately when you and I started talking about it, I was like, never mind. Let's not say anything else. Let's save this for the podcast.
Yeah.
Because your takes were so good, and more importantly, it's something our listeners need to hear from you. Yeah. But first, we're going to cover today using dating apps as a crutch, and that's what I was leading into. We've had some, big discussions online about Corey Wayne, who is you and I are definitely disciples of Corey Wayne.
For sure.
Corey Wayne, for you and I, was using an analogy that was kind of like freshman year of college for us. It was cool to get unfiltered education. When I went to college, Anthony, that's what I loved. I loved taking history in college, and I know you're a history buff too.
Yeah.
I loved taking history in college because finally I wasn't getting the Disney version of world history. Right. And it was so cool. There's so many cool stories in history that you can't tell kids, right? So Corey Wayne, for you and I, I'm sorry, that's how college was for me. But Corey Wayne, for you and I, was kind of like our freshman year of college as far as our red pill truth, learning about the world. And Corey Wayne is a big foundation for all the things you're going to learn.
A solid foundation, I would say.
All the things you're going to learn later, right? But then we graduated to, again, a disciple of Corey Wayne.
Before you go forward, the reason Corey Wayne is a great foundation is because anytime you go forward and you progress, you can always lean back on your foundation. Sometimes when...
by the way, thank you for interrupting. That's a great take.
Because
Yes.
sometimes you get too big for your britches, and you're like, I don't need that anymore. But even when you progress forward and you become even intermediate, or you become masterful or considered an expert to the point where some people go off on their own and even make their own podcast or YouTube videos or coaching, company, whatever the fuck, right? You still have a basis to lean back on. And no matter what I've done, I've always been able to lean back to the basics. So having a solid foundation coming from Corey Wayne's book and his teachings is like primo. It's prime real estate to have. Because if you look at anything else like that, when you talk about relationships, friendships, anything like that, if you got to have a solid foundation for that thing to hold up to all the other shit that's going to be put on top of it. So
we talked about last week, we talked about Michael Jordan. And we talked about all the fancy, innovative things Michael Jordan did as a basketball player. But we prefaced it with, but Michael Jordan was so fundamentally sound.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So fundamentally sound that now he can innovate. Okay? And that's what we're kind of getting into, guys. We got into a lot of online discussion, you and I did this week, with people saying, Wesley, this is, you're going off what Corey Wayne has taught. And I would argue, no, I'm not. What I am doing is the world's moving forward. The world's getting bigger. There's more things being added to it. And that's why this segment is about using dating apps as a crutch. We looked this up before the podcast. Corey Wayne published his book in 2013, the first time that was published, and he's had some revisions, of course. But the book, the meat and potatoes of the book, was published in 2013. When do you guys think comfortably Anthony, Tinder's the most popular dating app, right? I mean, still,
I think
100%. There's more people on it.
Oh yeah.
Well, Tinder came out just 1 year prior to the book being published. So when we talk a lot about texting, when we talk a lot about dating apps, how to use technology in the dating world, Corey Wayne, his book was published, by the way. When was it written? It was written probably before Tinder came out.
Right.
So when we talk a lot about texting, we talk a lot about dating apps, we refer to a disciple of Corey Wayne who mastered Corey Wayne stuff and then kind of formed his own martial art of dating.
Right.
And we're referencing a lot Alpha Male Strategies, or as many people call him, AMS. My point to this, guys, is when Corey Wayne wrote his book on dating, he never intended for you guys to be meeting 100% of the women you're meeting on dating apps.
Right.
All right? He never intended. He intended for you to start some hobbies like rock climbing, and then there's girls in the rock climbing group. He intended for you to be meeting people in person. So a lot of these things that we talk about with texting and things like that are more brought from the disciple of Corey Wayne, Alpha Male Strategies. Now, before we get into this topic, because we're going to go fast and furious here, I want you guys to look in the mirrors. Guys, we can't get better if we're being adversarial. And I want to preface this whole segment by saying this is tough love. This is Anthony and I taking our time to help you. Let me repeat that. This is Anthony and Wesley taking our time to help you. We're not getting anything out of this. We already know this stuff. Okay? But I had an experience today when I was at the gym. And my wife points out to me a lot. You think a lot more guys are like you. A 3%er, Anthony?
Yeah.
You think a lot more guys are like you and Anthony and are masculine and assertive and leading. And she's like, I've been out in the dating world. There's not a lot of you guys out there. And I'm very resistant because I'm a positive person. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I'm a positive person. But you know what happened to me today, Anthony?
What?
I walked in. It was a YMCA, downtown Houston. If you guys have never been there, it is fucking nice. It's nice. They have a little juice bar downstairs. It's in downtown Houston. If you've never been to Houston, I mean, Houston has nice shit. It's the 4th largest city in the U.S. I walk in. So this place, just to preface it, this isn't some dive bar down on 6th Street in Austin, okay? This is the YMCA of Houston. This is their flagship place. It's got a hot tub the size of my house in it. I mean, this place is fucking amazing. It's not cheap, but it's not crazy expensive, but it's not cheap. My point is I walk into the restroom, and I go into the stall because all the urinals were taken up. And I go in the stall, and there's urine on the fucking seat. And I thought to myself, as many of you motherfuckers that try to claim you're alpha, that try to claim you're a 3% guy and shit like that, I want you to look in the mirror today. Did you pee on the fucking public seat? Did you? Because a real man fucking lifts that seat and pees. Because a real man is a leader, and he knows, like, we got to live in this fucking civilization, this society. I got to make sure that we're all doing the right shit, so I lift the fucking seat. So as we go into this, guys, as we go into leaning on dating apps as a crutch, I want you to ask yourself that question. I want you to look in the mirror, and I want you to fucking be honest with yourself. Are you the guy that pees on the seat in public? Or do you lift the seat? This isn't the last time I'm going to bring this up, by the way, because to me, that's a real man. Retired Lieutenant Colonel Fred Clark, hopefully he's still alive, one of my great mentors in high school with junior ROTC. He was a B-52 pilot in Vietnam and an O-2 pilot in Vietnam. He's the man that taught me integrity. You know what the definition of integrity is? And I said, no, Colonel. What's the definition of integrity? Doing the right thing
when no one's looking.
Nobody else is looking.
Yeah.
So you're alone in that fucking bathroom stall, fellas. You raising the seat or you pissing all fucking over it like a goddamn animal? So as we go into this segment, that's what I want you guys to do. I want you to fucking be honest with yourself. Anthony, please share with them a story that this is you grabbing me by the back of the neck when I was talking about Tinder and Bumble. I was going, Anthony, we probably had 12 minutes of conversation where what was the verb you used last week on the show? I'm sorry, I was attacking you with my takes.
Yeah.
On Tinder and Bumble. I mean, man, what's going on with Bumble? What's going on with this? And you finally grabbed me by the scruff of the neck and you were like, you meeting too many bitches on Bumble and Tinder, man.
Yeah. Yeah. I think you get the wrong sense of women when you meet only women online. And you tend to have a different perspective when you approach them. And then you take your online game into real life and don't know why that shit don't work.
Jesus Christ, Anthony. We didn't talk about that in the pre-show, but that's a great fucking take.
Yeah.
You can't take your online game into real life.
Not at all.
Nope.
It's a total different process. It's a total different outlook because you got to understand, you getting the bitch attention online is way different in person because in person you can hurt this bitch. This bitch is in danger when you are approaching her. So there's a different approach that you have to be aware of that you're taking when you're...
Anthony, Jesus Christ, you're the nicest guy I've ever met in my life. You're being so nice to our listeners. What Anthony is specifically talking about is we had an online discussion this week, and there was a gentleman saying the question was posed. So when you go out on a date with a girl, should you tell them where you're going? Again, true to alpha male strategies, true to the Red Pill Phone Tap, our show, I want to answer this shit specifically. I don't want to be that fucking broad guy. Well, sometimes you do, but because that's not a real fucking answer. So I told him specifically, I said, hey, after date 4, don't tell them where you're going. Okay? And someone came in and was like, whoa, what's that all about? I was like, well, excuse me. If you met the girl online, you need to be okay with, first and foremost, you're going to go off Corey Wayne's page of picking them up. If Corey Wayne was sitting right here, he would agree with us. If you meet a girl online, you have to meet at the location together. Women are fucking scared.
Right.
Then, for the first 4 dates is a really good rule. You almost kind of argue 3 because usually date 3 you have sex, but 4 is a really good rule. First 4 dates, you kind of need to be minding your P's and Q's about making her feel like she's not in danger physically.
Right.
Because the most dangerous thing that has ever happened to women, as long as humans have been a species, is men.
Right.
And women are very aware of this, guys. So we got into this discussion.
Consciously and subconsciously.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
And so we got into this discussion, and somebody was saying that this was a me problem. Well, I don't know what you're doing, Wesley. I don't know why women don't feel safe around you. But
something must be wrong with you if
something
you can't.
must be wrong with you. I'm like, no, dude, we're trying to tell you specifically. And if Corey Wayne was sitting on the couch right next to you, Anthony, he'd say, well, yeah. And why isn't that in the book, Corey? And Corey would look at us like we're stupid and be like, because, motherfucker, the book was published in 2013. Online dating was not a big thing. Don't worry, AMS comes behind him and is a disciple of it. But Corey Wayne, guys, never intended you guys to be using dating apps as 100% of the fucking way you're meeting women. Yeah. Now, Anthony, you had to have a heart-to-heart with me.
Yeah.
I believe the math you told me, because I was the dumbass that was doing this. Guys, so again, this is tough love. This is something I did, so you're not stupid for doing it. It's super, super easy. But Anthony had to have tough love with me, and he says, dude, the women dating apps, that should be in the background. That should be like a fifth. That should represent like a fifth of the women you're meeting.
Yeah.
And AMS goes into a video where he says, this is where women start to choose men, like men choose women, like looks only. You don't get to use any of your skills.
Meat market.
Yeah, it's a fucking meat market, man. So it's one of those things where you had to kind of have that heart-to-heart with me about that. I mean, Corey Wayne never intended this to be reality. You're, motherfucker, and guys, I'm not trying to be mean. I'm really, really not. Sitting here on your phone, swiping, that ain't doing shit. Motherfucker, you motherfuckers think y'all are doing something. That ain't fucking hard. Just doing. Does that take any kind of courage, Anthony? Like, no. Whatsoever?
No.
That's not doing shit. And Corey Wayne never intended.
And you just pointing out you're not trying to vet her. If she got a profile, you're not even using it to vet her. You're like, is this bitch hot?
Yeah.
and you continue to swipe. And then guess what? If she starts talking to you, and you don't give a fuck about vetting her now, because you're like, this bitch is hot. Is she talking to me? So,
Anthony, I know you as a Navy veteran is gonna love this reference.
What?
Do you remember in Top Gun where they said they became too dependent on missiles?
Yeah.
They forgot how to dogfight.
Yeah,
That's what dating apps are, man.
Yep.
They become too dependent on missiles. Guys, what Corey Wayne intended for you to do, so all of you, Corey Wayne, true Corey Wayne to the bone, he intended for you to, like, fucking get a hobby and then meet, like we said earlier, rock climbing.
Yeah.
Or you and I were just recently at a bourbon class.
Yeah.
Who was there, Anthony?
Bitches.
Thirsty bitches.
Bitches.
Yes.
Bitches?
And because bitches don't just fucking go to bourbon classes.
No.
They were like looking around. They're
being more loud than the men.
You ever seen a bitch more single in her life?
No.
Than the
Not
chick
at all.
at the bourbon class.
No. Listen. And you can tell she didn't drink bourbon.
Yeah, she didn't know shit.
She was drinking the bourbon like, ooh, this is. Ooh,
oh my goodness!
This is spicy, bitch. This is bourbon. This is grown man shit.
She's like, "Can we mix this with some Coke?"
You know, they were looking for mixers and no, this is bourbon, sweetie, and you're tasting it. You know what I'm saying? So this is not a cocktail class. So yeah, if you go online and your purpose is to only meet women, and that's your only source of meeting women, you are using that as a handicap.
Yeah, it's a crutch,
and you don't want to face your rejections in person. For her not responding to you or not talking to you online, some of you motherfuckers get butt hurt even when they don't do it on that, and I'm like, damn, I know you not approaching because you so sensitive about her reactions online.
God, what would that be like in person? Would you slap a bitch? Like, I mean, serious.
What was the guy called? He called her a cunt online.
You beat me to it because we saw a post like that in a group that we're in this week. Where it is like the dude. I mean, what was said? I mean, she said something just slightly like, "Hey, I'm not interested." You fucking cunt.
Right.
It's like, whoa, that was 0 to 60. How would that guy act in person? But we're joking. The honest to God truth is he doesn't cold approach.
No, he doesn't.
Yeah.
No,
that's the real tragedy. That's what we need to get you guys doing. And by the way, Anthony and I are suggesting like you pick up hobbies and stuff like that.
Well, you don't. That's what I was just about to say. Cold approaching is really I'm not going to say desperate, but and you may find, I'll say this, and I was discussing this before. Have you ever seen a woman that turned you on? When I say turn you on, every bit of you is turned on to the point where she feels magnetic and you just feel yourself drawn to her and you're just approaching her on your own. And you don't understand how you even got in front of her, but now you're in front of her.
Like you can't help yourself.
Yeah, that right there is a cold approach, but guess what? Your instincts is attracted to her. It doesn't matter what you say. The vibe she feel off of you, and if she has the same, because that attraction is magnetic. It's not that she's not gonna be attracted to you at all on any level. There's something in the fucking atmosphere that's drawing you to her. So you need to figure out what that is. Open up with a fucking normal conversation and treat her like a fucking human being. She don't have to be just a pussy warehouse for your ass. Like,
yeah,
is she just sex at this moment? No matter what or who she is, just figure her out as a human. She may be the worst fucking human you ever met, but find that out first, right? So have a opening to where you either know how to be direct, because me and you both have similar personalities, but we also have our own separate mindsets when they come to certain things on how we approach women, what we think internally, like our inner game. Like your inner game is comical, charming, and I would say you push hard, right?
Yeah.
And for me, I push and pull. So even though I push, I pull back to give her space to play with me back and forth.
Yeah, I've seen your game in public. It's almost like you are teasing them to frustration, but then you pull back right before. I don't want to forget about this because we can talk more about that, but I don't want to forget about this because immediately when you were talking about you see a woman in public and cold approaching, would you share with our listeners what your mentor was telling you about? Like if you see a bitch and you're attracted, you have to approach her.
So
I love this take, by the way. I love it.
So I was talking to my mentor and he was telling me, because I was kind of explaining to him about a female that I saw, and I was kind of like trying to figure out how do I approach her? What do I say? and he was like, "So why are you waiting? If something about her is attractive, and if you wait past 3 seconds, don't even waste your energy trying to think about something you're not going to even do. Because if you go there and talk to her and you find out that it doesn't work or it does, at least you put the energy towards doing something instead of talking your way out of it and trying to get in your head about what to say and how to say it. The energy that you have, don't put it inside your head. Put it into your body and push towards doing it, and not trying to talk yourself into doing it.
Love that take, bud.
One of the things that
really love that take,
because don't waste it. Like, don't look at her, because if he said if you look at her and you putting energy into looking at her and you don't do anything about it, where's that? How is that manly?
What you pointed out to me, that's very beta.
Yeah,
she sees you looking at her,
and you don't.
But
do
she
shit.
also sees you not doing anything.
Yeah, so she knows that you're not a man of action.
Yeah,
you're a man that sees what he wants and don't have the guts or nuts to go get her.
One of our fans of the show, Bruno, has even asked us to talk about cold approaching.
Yeah,
so we've committed to him that we're going to do that next week. But that's why we're going to do it next week, because we need to hit this segment first.
Okay.
About not leaning on dating apps this hard. This was never what Corey Wayne intended.
It's no cold approaching dating apps. It's a
Everybody knows that. Now, the one thing that's great about dating apps as a pro is you do have attraction out of the way. That's the thing that sucks about cold approaching. You don't know if she's attracted to you. You don't know. You don't know till you know, right? Yeah. It fucking sucks. But you got to get over that shit, brother.
You can build attraction. You can't build desire.
Right. You can. Man, that's really well said. Because you and I both know attraction's not a choice, and you can't negotiate desire.
Right.
But if we got a little ember, you can either build it into a fire, or what a lot of these guys do with texting is throw fucking water all over that ember. Hey, what's going on today? Hey, gorgeous.
Yeah.
Oh my God. What did you do last night, girl? Hey, did you get home safe? Get the fuck out. Did you get... These motherfuckers are so concerned with these bitches getting home safe, isn't it?
I'm gonna say something about this. When I stopped texting, did you get home safe? Because I used to do it.
I'm only laughing because I used to do it too. The stupid did you get home safe shit.
I did. And and I'm like waiting. And I'm like, did she? You know what I'm saying?
Bitch, you do not carry. I mean, you do not care if this fucking bitch got home safe.
You don't.
You are not. Do anybody that's ever texted, did you get home safe? Were they really like, man, what if that bitch got in a car accident? Like, they never say shit like.
Typically, I'll tell you this, and this I hate that I'm putting myself out on blast, but fuck it.
That's why people love this show, because we always put ourselves on blast.
When I did that, I went straight to sleep. I wouldn't give a fuck, because that bitch could have died, and I wouldn't have known shit.
Let me translate for our listeners what "did you get home safe" means. It means, hey girl, you still like me? That's exactly it's hey, I want a little bit of validation. Will you text that over?
Well,
quick? What is that like? That's like acting like a fucking woman.
You're asking her after you departed, will we still see each other again? That's what that is.
You know what? You said it better than me. You're right. Hey, now that we've seen each other, we're going to get together again in the future?
Instead of asking that, that's your covert message by saying that shit.
And covert is what? It's communicating like a woman.
Yeah.
Because women communicate covertly, not men. Men communicate overtly.
This is what I do, though, now. I would say, hey, get home safe while I'm with her. Hey, get home safe.
Yeah. And if you're dating a bitch, and guys, because we always have exceptions to the rule, if you're dating a bitch that's like, you didn't even check to see if I got home safe, leave that bitch. She's fucking crazy. All right, that's date one, and she's high maintenance.
Explain what that is. Yeah,
okay. So whenever you get that kind of, and this is frustrating because a lot of the gentlemen that we try to help, they fall for this fucking fuckery.
Because that's why I'm asking you to do it.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Yeah. No, you're right. You're right. We need to go into that. So men will fall for this fuckery because women will be like chivalry, and they'll kind of get in your conscience. What this really is, guys, is you're dating a woman that's insecure, and she wants to be touched and get validation and shit like that. The worst thing that can happen is married with a kid with this bitch. But some of the more terrible things that can happen, not as bad as being married and having a kid, but this is my girlfriend now. And now she's the girl that goes through your phone. You're not allowed to go certain places unless she's there, and you're basically living in jail. And whenever a woman puts herself out that she's insecure, run, brother. Get out of here.
Yeah. So
hold on. The way I know you want me to go. The way that it usually manifests itself is I called her on Monday. We have a date on Friday. And then when I go to tell her I'm late, hey, I'm running like 20 minutes behind, but I'll still be there. She'll be like, we were still going out? I haven't heard from you all week. Bitch, I got to touch you Tuesday. I got to touch you Wednesday. I got to touch you Thursday. Or the date's off. Oh, really, bitch? So the weekend happened, Saturday and Sunday. Do you know work still starts at fucking 9 o'clock, asshole? You know what I'm saying? Somehow this bitch knows to be at work at 9 o'clock on Monday.
Her boss didn't call her every day this week.
Yeah, boss didn't call her. Hey, 9 o'clock tomorrow. It's still on. Are you sure? Yeah, it's still on. 9 o'clock tomorrow. Yeah. Well, she can't make a date with you, but she can somehow get to work on time all fucking week.
Right. So why do we fall for women giving us those excuses?
Oh, because they're clever. They will hit the points, like they'll question, like, are we a man? You didn't even call. You didn't even text me and see if I got home all okay. I guess you're not a very protective, chivalrous man. Bitch, Anthony was in the Navy. I was in the fucking Army. I'm very protective. I know how to protect shit with a gun, bitch. But I also think you're an adult and you can fucking get home on your own. Look, what if we had a kid together? Could you pick up our kid from daycare? Yeah. Could you get around safely in the world?
All of a sudden,
this bitch is helpless. Right. Jesus Christ. Oh my God. So, full circle, those are the bitches you want to stay away from.
For sure.
Anthony, what are the other dangers of leaning on dating apps as a crutch?
Again, the first thing is your game is off because of the way you approach. But also, I would say you get caught up in responses.
Hold on, brother. You're blowing my mind right now.
Yeah,
that's a really good take.
You get so.
I love how you don't have any of this shit for the pre-show because you're saving it to blow my mind live on the podcast. That is a really good take, man.
No,
you get caught up in responses, don't you?
Yeah, I didn't. We didn't discuss it in detail, so we just said what we will discuss.
Yeah.
When I didn't know you was gonna ask me this question either.
Listen, but listen, I like my mind being blown sometimes. I'm okay with it.
Well, I wanted to, because the reason I say that is because this is the shit that I went through, right? The responses mattered to me because I put so much thought into my own. And if you're meeting somebody on in the street, at a lounge, club, grocery store, whatever, you don't have a lot of thought to put into it. You just have to approach, figure out what happens, and go from there. Right?
And in my opinion, that's most of the time, for most of our listeners, most of the time, that's advantage guy.
Yeah.
You're the one that pointed this out to me, and this is why I loathe texting. You're the one that pointed this out to me. Now, when you pointed this out to me, we were specifically talking about texting while arguing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so this is when you pointed this out to me. You were like, hey, when you're arguing, don't text.
Right.
And the cardinal rule of texting is they got all fucking day to think of how they're going to respond. Have you ever had a moment in life, guys, where you're like, man, I wish I would have said that.
Right.
Oh, man, that would have been the perfect
comeback.
Oh, damn it. That's why battle rappers and Eminem and shit are badass, because they don't fucking think of it an hour later. They thought of it like on the spot. You were the one that pointed it out to me. You were like, hey, now you're going to have two stresses. She's first of all got as long as she wants to think about her response. Secondly, her not answering back is stressing you out. And guys, when we talk about leaning on dating apps, this is how you're coming out of the gate. You're just texting. It's all thumbs, you know? You talk about, like, you get caught up in responses. I love that take, and here's why. Because when you're responding, and let's just call it what it is, you're reacting, you're not leading.
Not at all.
Yeah, you're not leading at
Not
all.
at all. Because you're leaving yourself to her mercy, right?
Yeah.
And depending on how she responds, now the ball is not in your court, because now you're playing defense.
Yeah.
And she gets to lay it out on you. Because think about it. You're in a relationship, or you're dating a chick. You have some type of disagreement about something, and you're trying to establish your masculine frame, your male dominance. How you gonna do that on text?
You can't.
It's impossible. She has to.
I never thought of it till you just said it, but it is impossible. You cannot be in your masculine frame on text. I mean, masculine frame is all about posture, facial expressions,
right?
Like how your presence is.
She feels that though. Yeah. And she feels your dominance. She feels your energy and how you're doing, and she can feel your empathy when you're like, hey, I ain't trying to like beat you down and or make you feel like shit, but you gotta understand the role that we're both in, and that the role that I'm in right now is the role that I'm taking control of this situation. This is the reason why I said what I said, and then what I did. If you're gonna be with me, you have to follow my program.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you just got to be alone or find somebody else's program that's gonna allow you to do and act the way that you're acting. Because when you're with me, you can't do that.
The other thing with texting. Now we got, excuse me, we got a lot of this after our big texting segment last week.
Yeah.
Where, we called it Game of Phones. We got a lot of the pushback on this was, Wesley, you don't get it. This is like we talked about earlier. Maybe women aren't comfortable with you, Wesley. That's how motherfuckers always do.
That shit was funny.
They want to peel you off and act like you're the weakest in the herd. Look, the thing similar to the maybe women aren't comfortable with you, but I make the entire date a surprise, like I'm a motherfucking serial killer.
What you say? You know who else are mysterious?
Yeah, serial killers are mysterious. You can't be too mysterious. You can't show up to the date in a ski mask. I don't want this bitch to know what my face looks like. I want to be mysterious. Look, man, there is a time for mystery, you know, and after date 4, that is a great time
but especially
for mystery.
if you're online dating, this bitch don't know who you are.
No, and goddamn it, it's just not safe. Let me ask you this. Is every person online a weirdo, Anthony?
No.
But is every weirdo online?
Yes.
See what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? It's like, okay, yeah. But it's one of those things. So a lot of the pushback that we got was like, I'm old. Well, you don't get it. Young girls like to text. You don't get it, Wesley. No, listen to me and hear me forever. Do women like to text?
Yes.
Yes! Guess what, motherfucker? They also like makeup and Oprah. Are you going to start watching the OWN network on repeat all day and then try to pick up bitches in Sephora? Get out of here with that shit, man.
No.
It don't matter what women like. You are the captain. Your life is the ship. Jesus fucking Christ. It don't matter what women like. They have to come on board your ship.
You know what that is,
Jesus.
Man? That is men kowtowing to women. And
100%.
Instead of letting the woman experience who you are and finding out who you are, because she know who she is. She's been with her whole life. And you let her lead you and try to tell you what she like, what she want to do, she's going out on a date with you. That means you're leading this and she's experiencing you. So she's following you. So you letting her tell you or dictate to you on what to do and how to do it, and you're trying to figure out what she likes. Who gives a fuck? You'll find out what she likes eventually. You got to find out if you even like her yet. So you're bringing her on an adventure with you to experience who I am and if she wants to do that again. Not, oh, what can I do for you, madame, my lady, my queen? Like, no.
And by the way, it's not these guys' faults. This is what they've been taught in movies.
Yeah, but not if you're a 3%er. You can't be a 3%er making that argument, though.
100%. Yeah.
So when you,
I'm just trying to say, Anthony, we understand why they think it. Yeah,
I was there.
For sure.
I was there because I used to do it.
Yeah, you and I both.
So I'm not saying that. I'm just saying you can't be a 3%er and now you're having the same argument as a 97%er, and you're trying to bring that here, and then you're trying to say, well, I'm not following the book, or I'm not, or I'm going off. No, he's like,
you know where I'm going.
Where What?
You can't say I'm not a 3%er. Oh boy. So you and I have, and this is in a podcast, if you guys want to look at the women's argument tree.
Oh man. Yes.
One of the biggest arguments that women have is, what is it, Anthony? Go ahead.
Not all women.
Not all women. Anytime you say, women have vaginas, well, not all women. I mean, some women don't have vaginas. And if
women got
and if
pussies.
they can find an exception to the rule, man. Well, not all women. So you and I always talk about the not all women argument. Well, for 3%ers, people that are aware of the 3%, format, at least, they do have that not all women argument.
Yes.
Well, Corey Wayne says not to be a robot, and then they go rogue with some weird shit. Oh my
God. You
it is, oh my God. It is, well, Corey says not to be a robot. And it's just like, Corey Wayne specifically says, let's just say, one of Corey's principles is, rejection breeds obsession. And then someone does it, and we're like, hey, dude, I think she rejected you, and you're just obsessing over her. She's not really that good of a bitch. Well, Corey says not to be a robot. That's like their get out of Corey Wayne, Corey Wayne's book card.
Yeah.
Well, Corey says not to be a robot.
Well, like they say, well, who somebody said that, not all women want to talk on the phone. Some want to text. No, you want
not
to text.
all women. By the way, I love that he said not all women.
Yeah,
because it just goes right into what we're talking. Not all women.
It's not that all women don't want to text. You want to text, motherfucker. Just tell the truth. You're projecting.
Tell the truth. Did you pee on the toilet seat or not?
Yes, you did, motherfucker.
Tell the truth.
In this sense, you did.
You were alone in the bathroom stall. Did you raise the seat or did you fucking pee on it? You peed on it.
He peed on it, but this guy is projecting. He wants to text. So he's saying she wants to text.
Yeah.
And it's not the fact. Because if she has high interest in you, if you want to talk on the phone, she's going to get ass on the phone, man.
Yeah.
That's just the fact of the matter. So don't say that she is wanting to do something, so now you're just following her because this is the type of woman she is. No, you're weak, you're scary, and you don't want to fucking put your neck out there for rejection. That's what that is.
Not only are they scary, they're scary and scared. To our guys that don't understand, women are physically afraid of men on a first date. You're scary and you're scared.
I want to read this. Can you read John Miller's response?
Yeah. John is a great friend of the show. We're becoming fast friends with John Miller. Your take on online texting is bang on. Women will disrespect me in ways women don't when they meet me in person. Bang on. 100%. And John points out this is why not to be so dependent on online dating. When you cold approach or when you meet women in person, they are not going to say this weird shit that they said.
Right.
What did we say last week? The sentence that was on that text. For those that did not listen to the show last week, I believe the last text was, the fun of the night is the mystery of the date.
I don't know why you thought you were going to try to sneak that in on me, man. You know how I was going to say that.
The fun of the night is the mystery of the date. And by the way, we're making fun of that viewer as much as we make fun of ourselves. Because we've done dumb shit like that. Right? But the point of that is the fun of the night is the mystery of the date is not something you would say in person. I couldn't even get you to say the sentence.
No.
You were just like,
no one's going to have me on record saying some shit like
that.
The
fun of the night is the mystery of the date.
See, Wesley's having fun with it. I think it sounded dumb as hell. And I'm saying this, and that dude took the words out of Corey Wayne's mouth as if Corey Wayne was giving him game to spit on a woman. That's not what he was doing. He was telling you and explaining to you the mindset you should have when you're doing it.
Right. Would you take things that your coach told you and just say it to a woman? Like, you wouldn't walk up to a woman if you were going up to go meet a girl. Hi, my name is Wesley. D up, bitch! D up! Like, you would not.
See,
but my coach told me to D up.
Listen, listen. Before you even said that, I was thinking in football terms, and I was like, I was thinking about because I played cornerback, and I was gonna be like backpedal, backpedal. I was like.
Backpedal.
Open my hips. Find a man. Keep my hand on.
Find a man.
Keep my hand. Arm bar. And I was like, and the wide receiver like, what the fuck is wrong with this?
Could you imagine walking up to a girl in the bar? Backpedal. Find a man.
Can you imagine? Motherfuckers taking Corey Wayne's word verbatim and saying some shit like, "Can we go have indoor Olympics?" And
yeah.
And then, or you listen to the show, or you listen to AMS, or anybody else out there, any dating coaches, and you just say verbatim what these guys are coaching you, because that's what you guys sound like when you try to steal fucking little one-liners here and there, and you think that's going to open up this chick's legs.
Well, hold on. Corey tells us not to be a robot. I mean, he specifically says,
well,
"Don't be a robot."
That's the irony of that comment. Don't be a robot, and you're being robotic.
Very well said, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, that is the irony.
Yeah.
Like you said, "Don't be a robot," and you were a robot.
Right.
Again, we're still trying to help those dudes too.
Yeah.
Online dating. What AMS did moving forward, though, from Corey. I mean, again, How to Be a 3% Man was published in 2013. Mm-hmm. What AMS, and if you guys haven't checked out AMS's YouTube channel, the only thing I can say about it is, God, it's fucking great.
Yeah.
I mean, AMS is just, God, he took Corey Wayne knowledge, and he's very open about being a follower of Corey Wayne. He took Corey Wayne's knowledge, and he really became a master of it, and then just started kind of innovating his own shit. A lot of the specifics that I go into in online dating or texting also is straight out of AMS. That's what a lot of the people that we do online discussions with, they don't understand. It's like, Bud, I'm not going off page. We had an online discussion this week about, and it was a great question from a gentleman in a Facebook group that you and I are in. It was a great question. He says, hey, I'm trying to not text. And first of all, I'm already like, oh, thank God.
Yeah.
Oh, one of the good ones. Like, oh, thank God for this child. No, but he says, I'm not trying to text, but I got an issue. Whenever we go out and have a good date, she wants to text me. By the way, nothing wrong with that. Bitches are like, hey, oh my God, I'm kind of smitten on you.
Yeah.
I want to text you. But as we spoke about last week, Anthony, I always go back to this example. Because if we didn't go into in detail last week, and if you didn't listen to last week's episode, Anthony told me his fundamentals are so solid that he would be on the phone looking at the clock. And like, I can't be talking to this bitch. I can't be talking. This is lowering attraction. This is lowering attraction. And you said you physically started sweating because you were on the phone too long. Like, it's a good conversation. I'm enjoying myself, but I know that this is fundamentally wrong. Right. So that's what this young guy was doing, which is great. He's like, it's fundamentally wrong to be texting all the time. But what do? Do I ignore her? And I was like, I got you, kid. No, this is a great question. I got you, kid. Because do I want to ignore her? The answer is no. Don't ignore her. Okay?
Respond, but be short.
Respond, but be short. Also, specifically, I told him, hey, I had some canned responses that did not open dialogue.
Yeah, you pushed it to a phone conversation or a date, right?
Yeah. Well, I told him, I was like, you want to answer, but nothing that she could answer you about.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I wanted to, she'd be like, oh my God, I had a great time. And my text is like, okay, bitch. Like, that's it. Like, door shut. Like, thank you for thanking me. Like, that's what I want.
Thank you for thanking me.
I'm glad you acknowledge you're a nice person. Like, that's what I want.
Yeah.
I want door shut. What you don't want to do is they text you and then you're like, oh my God, I had a great time. Me too. Like, what do you want to do next time? Oh, and now we're opening a fucking text thread. Okay. Yeah. So I gave him some really, really specific responses, right? I was like, here's some of the things that I say. And I still remember my canned responses from back in the day. Like, oh my God, I had a great time. Thank you. And I would respond, yeah, we live in an amazing city. Like, Done.
Yeah.
Yeah. And by the way, and I felt bad because I gave a response, and I gave him some examples of canned responses. And every one of the canned responses, I felt bad because I didn't explain to him. I'm like, I had to come in on a later comment. Hey, not only do you want to not open a dialogue, you don't want to say you had a good time, and you don't want to give her any validation.
Right.
Validation could even be, thanks, gorgeous. Have a good night.
Yep.
Yeah, because you called her gorgeous. It's like, yeah, I've got him wrapped around my motherfucking finger. And then
she wants to know.
You have no idea, guys, how narcissistic bitches will get quick.
Yeah.
They'll be like, oh, I've got this, dude. Yeah, and then once they know they've got you, you're no longer a challenge. You're no longer a mystery. Yeah, and now all of a sudden, man, we had two good dates. What the fuck happened?
She fell off.
Yeah. Well, I mean, man, just one of the... And by the way, the only reason I know this is not because I'm the Dalai Lama of dating.
Yeah.
Because it fucking happened to me. And then you go back and you look at the text thread and you go, fuck, I didn't raise the toilet seat in the public bathroom, did I? I didn't raise the toilet seat in the public bathroom. Fuck. I'm that guy. I'm part of the problem now. I'm the guy that pees on the fucking seat. Anthony, we'd like to think, when I talk, every guy I talk to is an alpha.
Well,
he did not pee on the seat. However, every time I walk in the fucking public restroom, pee all over the fucking seat, isn't it?
Yeah.
Motherfucker. Everybody here is like, no, I don't text too much. I mean, but all you dudes are doing it.
Do you have a sense of any? Because when you say this, when you're talking about this, it kind of makes me go back into my mindset. I never. Oh, the bright light is not good on me. But I've never thought about what would, you know how they have said, well, what would Jesus do? What would Corey do in this situation?
Yeah.
I've had those thoughts before where I was like, okay, I know how I want to respond. And then sometimes you respond too fast because you're so eager to let her know how much you're into her. And so hold on. I want to stop you right there. Are you really eager to let her know that you're into her? Because I'm just telling you my personal experience. I wasn't eager to let her know I'm into her. I'm just eager about her. I'm like, oh my God, this bitch is beautiful. Yes.
Whoa.
Well, I'll say this. There's a mindset of you're lacking. You don't want to lose out.
Yeah.
On this particular female, because now you're like, if I don't respond to her, she's gonna go to the next guy. Mm-hmm. So I want her to let her know that I'm interested, so she don't go away. So that's backwards thinking. We know that now.
Yeah.
Now we know that, but before going into it, you're like, I got to give her the perfect response. I got to respond to her in a timely manner, and it got to be better than any other guy that has ever given her a response.
Right.
So you're already pedestalizing her, and she hasn't done anything for you yet. This is where we get it wrong, especially if she's reaching out to you. She sees some value in you in some capacity that she's reaching out. So you got to stay in that mindset.
Yeah.
And even if you've been out on dates and you've had a great time, she still wants to experience you. So she's texting you, right? She's reaching out more to experience you more, and it can become a drug for us.
Well, it's definitely a drug for them, for sure.
Well,
that validation drug
need
for them.
It.
Oh my God,
they can get it. They can get it though. This is a key point.
Well,
they can always get validation even if it don't come from the dude they with.
Right.
So it's not that they need
validation for women
from
is
you.
Like sex for them. For like sex is to us, validation is for them.
I'll say it's an orgasm because it's not just sex. It's I need this like to feel good about myself. And if you don't give it to her, her own man don't give it to her, she can get it from somewhere else. So you giving it to her mean that, okay, well, and especially if you give it to her every day.
Yeah.
She don't need to hear it from you no more. Now she need it from somewhere else.
Yeah.
Because now she's overloaded with it.
Yeah.
She don't need it from you. And now if you just meeting this chick and you already is praising all her beauty and all this about her, now you're saturated her with so much validation. She don't need anything else from you. She don't need a date from you. She don't need, sex from you, really, because
she already got what she's here for.
If she wanted it, she can call you up at any time. She knows you're gonna fucking respond. So that's why you gotta hold back
all that validation.
And no matter how you think she is, man, you treat her like a bratty little sister. You want to talk about Corey Wayne? Use his term. You treat her like a bratty little sister. I don't tell my little sister how gorgeous she is.
No. But by the way, that's a good take.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Corey Wayne points out the bratty sister thing.
Yeah.
You never fucking compliment your sister's looks.
Nope.
It's really...
I don't ask her about her fucking passions in life, my little sister. Like, someone asked me about that. They said, should I ask her about her passions? I'm like, do you care about her passions when her legs is up in the air? No. You don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
I'm asking you to let her experience you, and you can ask. I ask vetting questions all the time. Like, my questions have purpose in them. Yeah. Like, I'm not just asking you bullshit questions about your family and this and that. All that'll come in time, but I'm vetting you right now. I need to know what type of woman you are. I need to know if I'm going to be wasting my time or not before I start investing my time, money, resources, energy, my thoughts. Because think about it, man. When women experience different men, they get to experience the totality of that guy. How he became the man he is. They get to experience that when they go out with this guy. What did you get to experience from her besides her presence? So as much as I'm giving out, she needs to be giving back to me. So it's very important for me to, and I think this turned into a fucking vetting segment, but it's very important for me to ask questions that's going to get me to want to be more attracted to her than I already am.
Well, I've already decided on this show. If there's one topic you and I cannot hit enough,
it's vetting. Yeah.
Is vetting.
Yeah.
100%. I mean, vetting is just something, unfortunately, our listeners are not doing. As long as the bitch is hot,
that's it.
Eyeball test, they give them the keys to the fucking franchise.
That's why they act like they act, man.
Yes. Now, let's bring our listeners solution, okay? Using online dating as a crutch, okay? I have a brief story. And the brief story is this. I mean, a lot of people that listen to this program know I'm prior MMA fighter, but my real passion was Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and grappling. That's if you were to give me truth serum and ask me like what I really athletically, what I loved, what I just had a passion for was Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. And I remember I went to a tournament, and my coach had put on a tournament for the first time, and we were the best grappling team in Houston, many years. I mean, every time NAGA came to town. If you guys don't know what NAGA is, it's a North American Grappling Association. Anytime NAGA came to town, our team always won the trophy. We were the best, and we were the innovative gym that did leg locks and things like that. So for us to host a tournament in our gym, and then our coach named it after the Spartan period when children go through, Anthony, the period of Spartan. Anyway, their trial of life, okay, where they're children and they have to like prove themselves as a Spartan, right? It was called the Agoge tournament, and going into and the medals were fucking amazing. It was absolutely insane, you know. So I was all hyped up this, but I had an injury, and I was gonna have to fight way outside my weight class. My weight class was 159, and I was going to have to compete at 190.
God damn.
Yeah, it was just. But I was like, my coach was like, "Hey man, coming off that injury, get back on the horse, get out there." And everybody that I grappled with they were motherfucking monsters, because this was such a big event. You had people like fucking coming in from Dallas and Beaumont and, like whatever. And I went out there, and in the first round of the bracket, and this is my home school, So we all wanted to perform at our home school in front of our coach's tournament. And I went out there and I got fucking embarrassed. I had a guy, if you guys follow fighting, Ben Askren is a UFC and Bellator fighter. He's known for just like taking guys to the ground, just laying on them the whole match. And I had a guy just totally Ben Askren me. If you're a great grappler, you should never let anybody do this to you. And that's what I had done to me. And it was just, other than, like, I can't think of anything other than, like, fighting where when you lose, there's a real humiliation. There's just that guy beat me in a fight. And everyone saw it. Everyone paid admission to see it. And they beat me. This guy is tougher than me, and he just displayed it on me. Other than, I think of like the individual sports, Anthony, other than tennis I think is close to fighting because you're just out there all by yourself. Tennis looks like a lonely, lonely place because when you lose, it's just on you, bruh. And fighting is very, very similar. And I got embarrassed. I got fucking embarrassed, man. And I come off the mat, and, women and children see you get beat. Your teammates see you get beat. And I come off the mat, and I'm just fucking defeated. I mean, Tito Ortiz said it one time, Anthony. Fighting, individually fighting somebody, it's the loneliest place on earth. Because when you win, everybody is just like, yeah, I showed Wesley that move a couple weeks ago. Like, yeah. Man, pretty much the reason he won is because of me.
Yeah.
If you win, Anthony comes over and goes, yeah, I told you, man. Do more chin-ups. I told you, dog. And everyone feels like they're part of the victory. When you lose, it's like, man, that motherfucker sucks. I told him to do this other shit. And I come off the mat. And the reason I'm really giving you guys the very specific story here is because I want you to feel my humiliation with me. If you're listening to this, I want you to feel it. It's just, you just get off and just everyone kind of smiles at you. Like, it's all right, man. It's all right. But when you look in their eyes, they pity you. It's just fucking terrible. It's not like losing in football where, well, I lost, but there's 52 dudes on the team. I mean, I did my job. When you lose at fighting, it's just so fucking humiliating. And so I came off the mat, and I'm just like looking around, and I'm just fucking defeated. I mean, it's just the loneliest place on earth. You're just so fucking down. And I looked around, and we had so many people watching the event, Anthony. We had my coach made people pay $5 to come watch, and people gladly came and watched the best grapplers in Houston, Texas. And I remember looking at like guys that were really in shape. Like maybe they went to a CrossFit gym, or maybe they just worked out a lot or whatever. But I remember looking at guys in shape, and they were spectators. And I remember in my moment of humiliation, I remember thinking to myself, you know what? I'd rather be humiliated and be on that mat and competing than be somebody in the audience that ain't doing shit. And that's the mentality I want guys to have when it comes to meeting women and cold approaching or taking up a hobby.
Yeah.
Or something. I want you guys to be okay with failing, because you're not just the dumb motherfucker that's just swiping left or right on your phone. These motherfuckers think they're doing shit, right? Don't like her, swipe left, swipe right. I mean, it's just, I want you guys to be like, hey man, that girl just totally dissed me in public. The people at the bar laughed at me because I approached her. But you know what, guys? This is what I'm trying to get through your thick head, guys. For all you motherfuckers that peed on the public toilet seat today, I want you guys to understand those guys laughing at you at the bar because you approached a chick and you put yourself out there. Those guys didn't put themselves out there.
Exactly.
They're guys in the audience. This is what I want our listeners to go to. I want you to get on that fucking mat. I want you to get in that fucking cage, brother. Like, that's what I want. Whether you win or lose, at least you fucking walked into the cage.
Exactly.
Those motherfuckers laughing at you, cool. They paid their $5 to come in and watch me get fucking Ben Askren. Watched me lose miserably. At least I was fucking competing, motherfucker. Because all you CrossFitters out here, and by the way, we're not dogging on CrossFitters. This show is fine with CrossFitters, but I'm just using this as an example. All you guys that were in such good shape, you were in good shape, but motherfucker, you're not a fighter. So don't fucking look at me like I'm a quote unquote, like I'm a bum.
Yeah.
You know?
Everybody Monday, what do they call it? Monday
morning quarterback.
Yeah.
Right?
Just, can you believe it was two other guys wide open? Motherfucker, you ain't out there.
You're not Deshaun Watson.
Right. You're not. You don't have 300-pound guys chasing you at full force looking to take your head off.
No.
So, like, and just like you guys that are online dating only, you're not out there talking to women and getting rejected in public.
No.
You know,
and it's super easy for you to get also in a Facebook group and be like, nah, man, Corey Wayne said to do like this.
Right.
Anthony and I, we are talking to you, and we would not even feel competent enough to have this podcast if we didn't go out and fucking do this shit and have experience.
No doubt.
We're not fucking talking to you from goddamn theory.
This is not corporate sending down a memo about what to do in the fucking field. And we're like, you motherfuckers ain't out here doing what we do.
Yeah, this podcast is not HR.
Like,
I'm sorry, you sniped me with that one. This is not HR, God damn it. This is shit that we know because we did it. We experienced. When I go into an online discussion, Anthony, whether it's a Facebook group or anywhere, this is like, dude, I'm giving you the specifics because I know this shit works. I know that date 5, you fucked on date 3, you had one more date after that, so she knows you didn't become obsessed. I know that date 5, we can have a surprise date. You brought up a great idea today. Houston has a lot of great graffiti art around the city.
Yeah.
You were telling me they're charging like $116 to take a tour of it. You're like, look, that'd be like a great fucking date idea. That's when you want, date 5 or 16, what the fuck ever. After date 4, you can be like, hey, don't worry about where we're going.
Right.
And that's cool.
Exactly.
But dates 1 through 4, that bitch is worried about where y'all are going. You know what I'm saying? I'm not telling you this because it's theory. I'm telling you this because Anthony and I fucking lived it, man. That's where I get frustrated, Anthony. We started the podcast, Anthony, talking about my big plight this week was we have a lot. Our show's becoming more popular, which is great. That's what we wanted, right? Mm-hmm. But we have more people reaching out to us, and it's becoming very real for me, Anthony, that I can't save everybody, and it keeps me up at night. I'm terrorized by it.
Well, I don't think you should feel.
And we did not talk about this in the pre-show, by the way. But I'm telling you where I'm at in life. We get in these online discussions, like, and I'll have someone just come in and be like, "That's not what Corey Wayne said." Corey Wayne said, "No." I'm like, "Well, where did Corey Wayne say that?" Never mind. Corey Wayne said, "Don't be a robot." So I'm motherfucker. And it's like, I really care, Anthony.
I care.
You really care.
Yeah. I care.
This is the kind of shit that keeps me up at night. I don't want men to be unhappy. That's the fucking genesis of our show.
Well, remember we talked about psychological mind traps and free information, right? So it's the value that people will hold, and now, I'm not telling you all free advice is fucking valuable.
Right.
I'm saying, take any information with a grain of salt. You know, you're gonna apply any information that you find valuable to your life based on how it resonates with you at your current moment, because not all of us are at the same level at the same time. I understand that. So I don't waste my time with guys that aren't on the level that I'm on, because I got to take you through so much information to get you to where I'm at. And if I got to take that much energy to do it, goddamn it, I better be getting something out of it. But if you're not even, I can tell that you're not even able to absorb what I'm saying. I'm shutting the fuck up. I'm moving on. I'm not gonna waste my time, my energy, my efforts for someone that know everything already.
I will always contest that you are the wisest person on this show. And I will always be like, clearly Anthony's the wisest guy on this show. But this is another example of that. Like, Anthony is basically explaining to you guys as listeners, look, I've got to put the oxygen mask on myself on the plane, then I got to put it on you.
Yeah.
I'm the dumbass that's trying to explain to someone like, okay, oxygen is a gas you breathe in, and when this plane is going down, there's not going to be enough oxygen on the plane, and so I got to put this mask on you. Okay, this is a rubber band. It's going to help secure the mask to your face, like, and then I'm dead.
Meanwhile, you're suffocating.
Yeah, exactly.
And you're like, and you hit the fucking ground. Hit the fucking ground. Fucking, and then he said, yeah, he was saying something about, he got his mask on and everything now, and he was like, yeah, he was saying something about oxygen. I wasn't really paying attention.
I don't know what gas is. It's weird.
He must be really sleepy.
That dumb motherfucker was saying gas is everywhere, and it's clear, and you can't see it, and that dumb motherfucker. Anyway, he dead, man. But so let's give them some solutions. So Anthony, let's help them out of the mire. Let's help them with you're relying too much on online dating.
Yeah.
But cold approach is rough too.
Yes.
Let's give them some strategies. Now,
okay.
Now, we were just talking about
you don't want to save it to next week, or you want to get into it now? We can get into it. I don't care.
Oh, we've got time.
Okay.
We got time.
Into it.
Because this is what I really want to do. I want to help these guys get to the solution.
All right.
So a lot of where these guys are living is I either got to do dating apps, or I've got to do cold approach. That's only two things. That's it. It's over. That's it, right, Anthony?
No.
That's only two options I got.
No.
And cold approach, you and I just admitted. By the way, I've seen you cold approach. I've seen myself cold approach. Let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen of this audience, we can possibly maybe film this in the future, but you are listening to two podcast hosts right now that are fucking damn good at cold approaches. I've seen Anthony do it, and of course I've seen myself do it. We're really good. I would be the first to admit, even though I'm really good at it,
shit hard.
It's hard. Yeah, it's
hard.
just it's painful. When it doesn't go right, it's really painful. And I'm good at it. I mean, for people that listen to this podcast, y'all know I've worked in sales for a couple decades now. A couple decades. Cold approaching is what I do literally to bring money home, to pay my bills and put food on the table. I'm really good at cold approaching. I still hate it.
Yeah.
I'm talking about in dating. In business, I don't hate it. It's just so fucking second nature. I never dated long enough in my life, Anthony, for it to become as easy for me in business as it is in dating. I was just never single long enough.
Yeah.
I would have gotten better. I would have been. But either way, what would you rather do in business? Would you rather just... Hey, what's going on? Wesley here, trying to sell some phone service for you. All right.
Knocked on that. Yeah.
Hey, Wesley here, trying to sell some phone service. All right. I mean, that's what cold approaching is. You can get rejected so fast, it's painful. What would you rather have in business? Would you rather do all those knocking on the doors? Or would you rather be like, hey, man, my cousin owns a company that needs phone service. Will you go down there? And
yeah. That's what I need. That's what I'll take that all day.
All day long in business. So it's no different in dating. So, guys, we're going to give you more options other than cold approaching. Now, Anthony, we talked about this on the show already. We talked about going to a bourbon class. That was...
Yeah. And guess what? It's more intimate. It's, 20 people in there, right?
Yeah.
And if you're just a shy person, I can't do nothing for you with that. You got to get over that shit. I can't help you get over being shy or insecure about yourself.
To your point, if you're shy, going to a bourbon class versus cold approach
is very better.
Way better.
Way better.
That will help you getting over shy way faster.
I was
than
talking
a cold approach.
To a fellow member in the group about approaching, and I was telling him about the approach doesn't have to be something because he was so in his head about what to say, how to say it, because I was giving him some examples of what I would do, and he was like, man, because he was a younger guy.
Yeah.
He's like, I don't have as much experience as you have, and I don't know how to do that. I can't come up with this. It's not, and I said, I'm not no fucking genius, man. I use the environment I'm in. I talk about what's happening in the environment. We were in a bourbon class. You got a fucking topic to talk about.
100%.
They are there to experience that, and all you have to ask is like, so what kind of bourbon do you drink? That's it.
Yeah.
That's fucking it. And everything else after that could be, are you fucking tonight? Cause she is in a bourbon class and
Already.
she is ready. I'm telling you.
And by the way, guys, so that you guys aren't rolling your eyes right now, I'll give you some specifics on this. Anthony and I started our bourbon journey together. I mean, we talk about the bourbons we drink while we're doing the show, but I love having like a record of Anthony and I got into this at the same time, you know? Before this podcast, Anthony and I drank Crown and Diet Coke. You know what I'm saying? Just like a lot of other people. And we've kind of begun this bourbon journey together. And the more we find out about it, and Anthony's great about sending me videos and stuff like that, about like how they make this shit, the history of, you know, there was a bourbon rebellion that we learned about in the class, and they all moved to Kentucky, and there's great history. This is a real craft of making this. You and I tried a bourbon earlier today that neither of us liked, but we were amazed at what they did with the bourbon. They made the bourbon smell like chocolate-covered cherries. It was fucking amazing. We were like, I don't like this. I'd never buy a bottle of this, but this was really, really cool. I mean, guys, if you get into a hobby, it doesn't have to be bourbon, but I'm just trying to point out to you guys, if you get into something, you can become like, oh, I didn't realize that. I didn't realize that. And you can become passionate. And then you get in a group of co-eds who are also passionate about it. Guys, this is way better than cold approaches.
Yes.
I mean, get into a hiking group, a biking group. We said a bourbon group. I mean, anything, guys. Guess what is...
Not a cold approach anymore.
Yeah, it's not a cold approach, but guess what? This is kind of badass Even if you don't meet a bitch.
Right.
It's like you have this cool fucking hobby.
And you have more to talk about now about who you are.
Yeah. Yeah. The de facto is you become a more interesting person.
Exactly. The most interesting man in the world. That's what happens.
Thank you, Anthony. Thank you.
That's what happens, man, because
you have all these cool hobbies.
And let's say we went to the bourbon experience and we didn't like it and we was like, I didn't really like that, but I do like bourbon, but I experienced it, so I still have something to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So be open to knowing more about you.
Yeah, and it's just like it becomes like a meeting a woman is kind of the afterthought.
Yes.
It's just like, oh shit, I met a bitch in the bourbon class.
Right.
She likes bourbon too. Fuck.
Yeah. Bourbon's still number one though.
Yeah.
Right? So it's not about her. And that's what I find was wrong with men is that they keep making it about her.
Thank you.
And it's not about her. Like I said, when you're going on a date, she's experiencing you. She's not there to tell you who she is. Most women are pretty much the fucking same, man. Yeah, they have different backgrounds. They got different careers and all this other stuff. But when it comes to like who they are at their core, pretty much the same, and they're looking for a guy to lead and guide them.
Thank you.
In life.
I love to say, women are water and men are the glass. They will mold themselves.
I like that.
Yeah. Women are water and men are the glass.
But even if they're ice cubes, they still melt, motherfucker.
Right.
So they will conform.
By the way, great analogy. Yeah, even if they're ice cubes, they still melt and they conform. So no matter how hard and they get, if they meet the right man, they melt right in that glass.
Yep.
But men, you have to be the glass. You can't move. You're the mountain. As Corey Wayne says, we talked about Corey Wayne a lot today. You are the mountain. You're an immovable object. That's what you have to be. Women are water. Men are the glass. I got to tell you, so we had a big topic come up this week. You know, but hold on. Before we go to the next segment, I have to touch this because I'm already, again, Anthony, I'm terrorized by guys being led astray. I want all of our listeners to have like the best life. Okay, guys, let me say before we go to the next segment, when you go into a hobby, or it could be the bourbon group or rock climbing or yoga. Like I was in a
you was a hot
big yoga. Yeah, I was a big time hot yoga guy. And I'll use that as an example. If you find yourself going into a hobby and you're just that new thirsty guy.
Yeah, don't go into the hobby looking for bitches.
Go into the hobby because you're genuinely interested in it.
Right.
I was never, ever and yoga is kind of a mainly women environment. Yeah. It's mainly women doing yoga. I was so passionate about it because I was fighting at the time, and the yoga was making me a better fighter. It was making me a better Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu grappler. And so I was just so motivated about it. But people could tell my genuineness. I wasn't there looking for bitches. And also simultaneously, I was in a relationship and my girlfriend was going too. But I think women in that environment are like super, super standoffish because the guys that usually come to yoga are creeps. Yeah. I mean, well, creeps is a strong word. I think you're more right, Anthony. Like they're there. Here's some yoga. Where the bitches at?
Yeah. I want to smell that stinky pussy.
Yeah, it's just like, oh my God. But you could read it on their face as soon as they walked in the room.
Eyebrows arched up.
Hey.
They on high alert. they talking to everybody.
the Chris Rock joke, like, hey, can I get you a towel? Want some dick? Downward dog. Want some dick? All right, everybody, I'm going to come right over here. Want some dick? Yeah. Like, if you find yourself being want some dick guy,
right.
You're not, it's not a hobby you enjoy. Move on to a different hobby.
Yeah.
That's what I'm telling you. You should be, when you go into this hobby, you should be so passionate about it that a bitch sees you doing this and goes, God damn, this motherfucker is really fucking into CrossFit. Like, this motherfucker is really into it. And then a woman gets to see you being passionate about something. You're not there rummaging through vaginas. You have to go into a hobby, guys. And by the way, you may not meet women in that hobby. Find another hobby. This only makes you more worldly and only makes you more interesting. So there's no loss for you guys. But if you're just the guy flipping over rocks trying to find pussy, that ain't going to work, guys. It's not how that works.
I was in a group. Well, I was online when I was in San Antonio, and you guys, if you don't know, if let's say you don't have friends and you're in a new city or something like that, and you don't have a way to Wesley Anthony, that sounds good, but I don't know anybody here there's nothing to get into in the city. This town sucks, whatever.
Hey, that's all right. We appreciate you listening to the show. Anthony's going to help you with that. Go ahead, Anthony.
There's an app that you can you can go online as well on a computer. It's called Meetup.
Oh, well, hold on. I don't know about this. Go on.
Yeah.
I'm intrigued.
It's a Meetup app, and it has any and every type of hobby or interest that you can get into.
Really?
And
no shit.
You select the ones that interest you, and there's a group of people that do that in your city. Yeah.
So hold on. It's what, meetup.com or?
Look it up. You can look it up right now in real time.
Let's just do it live. Yeah.
Yeah. And
fuck it. We'll do it live.
And I specifically was looking for black young business owners, like singles in San Antonio. That was my genre that I kind of selected, right?
By the way, that is it. www.meetup.com.
So,
Anthony, I've never known about this shit.
Oh yeah, man. if let's say you don't know what to do, you can just meet people that are doing shit, that are out here doing shit. The people that are driving in your city are going somewhere. Find out where the fuck they going. Everybody not going to work. Everybody not going to church.
God damn it, Anthony! Again, this is why I always say you're the wisest man on this program. I mean, this is fucking genius. I'm clicking on the. And by the way, they do not sponsor this show or anything. No. I'm just learning about this live too.
If you're a runner,
I'm seeing here free yoga in Houston, because everyone knows here at Navigation Studios, we're located in Houston, Texas. Indoor soccer pickup games.
There you go.
Discovering Houston, Houston area trails.
Yeah.
By the way, I'm seeing from these photos, I didn't realize Houston had such scenic trails. Like, now I'm interested in it. By the way, if you don't have an idea of what you want to do as a hobby,
you can find it.
Yeah. Just go to this website. There's people on, like, the video here is a group of people making spaghetti noodles.
Yeah. Learning how to make pasta from scratch.
Motherfucker.
And the thing,
this is nice.
Yeah.
This is cool.
It's very interactive. You get into a text thread if you want.
Dancing classes here.
The thing is that you can get into a text thread. Like, we got a text thread about a group of guys or friends together. So we talk shit. We typically talk sports and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But they got stuff on there for sports enthusiasts. So you can find things to do. It takes a little effort on your part to do it. And the girl that you're going out with don't have to know where you got your ideas from. She just know that you were resourceful enough to find it.
Yes.
Right? So no one says you have to be a genius out here, man. Just go out here and get involved doing shit and not worrying about females. Worry about yourself. And when you start improving yourself, man, the female shit will come, because guess what? Somebody's going to take interest in you while you're taking interest in something that you're interested in. That's how this shit works.
And then you get to see, you don't start, unlike dating apps, and that's what this segment's about, using dating app as a crutch. Unlike dating apps, a woman gets to see you in a group of people being passionate about something.
Right.
And when a woman is like judging you, and guys, let's get past this. Well, not all people want to have children. Our DNA and the software passed down from our DNA is all about reproducing. Okay? When a woman sees you passionate about something, she's not conscious of it, but her attraction is based on, well, fuck, if he's passionate about that with this, that's a good person to have a child with. And whether you want kids or not. I mean, wear a condom, guys.
Yeah.
It's your personal choice. But our software on how we're attracted to one another is based on, would I want to fucking have a kid with that person? When a woman sees you passionate about something, by the way, Anthony, this is like new to me. As I'm scrolling through the website, there's just so much cool shit you could just go out and do. And now a woman gets to see you being passionate about something. You already have something in common because they're there too.
Right.
And if you go into a group, what I'm thinking is, if you go into a group, ain't no bitches there, you don't necessarily have to leave the group, but you could go to a different group with more bitches and just be more worldly and be more interesting.
Yep.
That's a lot better than dating apps.
Way better.
It's a lot better than cold approaches.
Because she can't give you old pictures in person.
In person. She can't give you old. Thank you, Anthony. Jesus. Again, Anthony, I mean, this podcast has, I said it on this podcast. I'm like, Anthony's the wisest guy on this show. Anthony just proves it over and over and over again. Guys, get out in the world. Get out in your city. What is, you and I talked about you and I getting into bourbons. Guess where bourbon is made? The most boring place on fucking planet Earth, Kentucky. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But even if you were just living in Kentucky, you could go on the bourbon trail. If you're living in the God's country up in fucking Montana, you might be an outdoors person. Right. Anthony's giving you the formula. Meetup.com, and like I said, they're not a sponsor of this show, but I'm telling you guys, when you go to meetup.com, by the way, we're on a computer. I'm not sure how it appears on your phone.
Yeah, the app is very user friendly too.
Is it? Is it really? Yeah. When you go on your computer to meetup.com, you just with the video that's playing up here, man, you just want to start clicking on shit. It's just like, man, it looks so cool. And I guess they're aware of your geographical location, because immediately everything that comes up on our computer here is Houston stuff.
Okay.
So, man, that's really cool. Jesus Christ, Anthony. I'm glad that we extended this segment and did the whole don't show up thirsty part, because I don't think there's anything more mission critical for our listeners than going to this website to stop cold approaching and stop using dating apps as a crutch. Anthony, we had something happen this week. We are in different Facebook groups and different online discussions, you and I. And I'll let all of our listeners behind the curtain, okay? Anthony and I are very alpha in our beliefs, okay? We're pretty immovable because we're very certain that we're right. Now, that doesn't mean we can't be talked into things if new ideas come up, but we're pretty confident in our coaching and what we believe in. We get in different online discussions, and a gentleman this week, and Anthony observed this online discussion, a gentleman this week said, "Hey, get out there, be alpha, keep it sexist." And Anthony and I kind of have an on-running joke. I always say, Anthony, you're the kindest guy in the world because you will actually sit there with women and talk to them about how fucking dumb they are. I'm like, I'm not patient enough to do that. However, because I have this complex, I want to save all men. I want to get all men to the red pill. I'm weak on the guy side. I will talk to dumb guys hoping I can save them. I'm that fucking doctor that's like shocking a body that's been dead for 2 hours. Clear. Oh, come on, I can still save him. It's like, no, doctor, we got to call it. No, I can still save him. He doesn't believe that women are, no, I can still save him. And there's this gentleman, he said, hey man, keep it real. And don't forget guys, be sexist. And I couldn't let it pass. And I got in this long discussion. You were so frustrated with me. You were so frustrated with me. Yeah. You're like, dude, you can't reach this guy. He thinks that Corey Wayne wrote a book about being sexist. You can't reach him, Wes. What are you doing, bud? What are you doing? And I'm like, no, man, I want to point out to this guy that feminists have moved the goalpost to like what is sexist and what's not. I was trying to point out to the guy, following Corey Wayne's coaching is not sexist. You know what sexist would be? Corey Wayne's never written a chapter in his book about, well, we got to figure out, you know what we really got to figure out? How to get these voting rights away from these bitches. You know what I'm saying? We got to get these voting rights away from these bitches. You know what we got to figure out? We got to figure out how to pay bitches less for the same work. There's never that. I mean,
I saw that. I saw the comment about you lost him about equal pay or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I know we both know that's a myth.
Well, but we as humans, you and I, we believe if a woman truly does equal work, she should get equal pay. Yeah, I mean, just as fairness in the workplace.
Yeah.
By the way, I'm not the only person who thinks this. This is a law. You have to do this. But we also know women don't always give equal work, especially in very physical environments.
Right.
What we're trying to tell our listeners is we know all the nuances of this shit. We're not weirdo women apologists, but we're also not sexist.
Well, he was trying to make it a weird argument about it, which kind of threw me off. And
so you were like, this guy's not reachable.
Well, yeah. It wouldn't be a conversation I would expound upon. So,
and to our listeners, I apologize. This is bad radio because you can't observe the conversation.
Right.
Bear with us for a minute because this is basically an example of I was really trying to reach a guy. I'm like, hey, hold on a second. Just because we're alpha, just because we've taken the red pill, just because we're following Corey Wayne's book, doesn't mean we're sexist. Just because people call you sexist.
Well, that's what I wanted to get to. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he was labeled that, and he took it as a badge of honor.
Yeah. And it's like, no, man, we're not sexist.
Don't accept being labeled by somebody who don't understand you.
Yeah. Exactly.
So when you take on a label, like just because let's say somebody see me training a female in my backyard or my front yard because it's the biggest space and whatever reason I'm using the front yard, and we're boxing, and they call the cops on us, because we're boxing in the front yard and we're training.
Yeah.
Did they come by and see what was happening? No, they observed you and say, "Hey, you're abusive to her and you're putting your hands on a woman."
That's a great example. Yeah.
And they don't know the nuances of what's happening.
Yeah.
And then someone else finds out that, we're just training. oh, well, that looks like abuse to me. You're an abuser, and now the whole neighborhood thinks you're some kind of wife beater, right?
Well, Anthony, are you saying that men should be able to beat women in their backyard? Is that what you're saying, Anthony?
So
I can already hear
that's
the
what I'm
emails.
saying.
I can already hear them.
When someone
Jesus.
takes a hold and only have one viewpoint of life, and they can only see things through their colored glasses, then that's all they're gonna see. So when you're trying to explain them that this is not what this is, this is something else, you need to be open to there are actual things that men and women can be involved in that is not abuse, right? So
yeah,
as you're trying to explain that, they're like, this still looks like abuse to me, right?
and just so we're being, I love when we can be specific with our listeners. Just so we're being specific, the best women fighters, they spar with men.
Yeah.
I mean, just bigger, stronger creatures than they are.
And even the best basketball players play against men.
Yeah.
They want to push themselves because they know they can do what they can do against women. So they's like, can I be better if I'm going against a man? And so that is where I was looking at this guy. I was like, when you take on that type of title, like you accept that to be who you are because you don't even understand you. You don't know who you are. So you accept a label that somebody else put on you because you don't even know who you are yet.
Anthony, that's so well said. That is so well said. You're accepting a label somebody put on you because you don't know who you are. I know that I'm not a sexist. I love my wife. I have a beautiful daughter that I love. I'm not sexist, but I am a man, and I am red pill. But that doesn't mean I think women being a sexist is thinking women should have less rights than men. Door closed. That's what it is. Stop with all these fucking broad fucking interpretations. That's what it is. Let me repeat what I just said. Being a sexist means you think women should have less legal rights than men. Done. That's it. That's what sexism is. It's not this weird fucking thing, this convoluted thing that it's become. Get Wesley and Anthony on the record. Wesley and Anthony, do you think... Let's just answer live, Anthony.
All right.
Should women have the right to vote?
Yeah.
Yes. Should women be paid equal pay for equal work in a vacuum? Yes. Should men be able to beat up women? No. That's what sexism is. It's very cut and dry. I mean, it's just, but the internet has made it this. What?
Women shouldn't be able to beat up men either, so I wanted to put that out there. Go ahead. Well, go ahead.
What? Women cooking? That's sexist. That's how weird the world's become. You know. What? So women are barefoot and they walk through the kitchen? That's fucking totally sexist. I don't know what the fuck you're doing. You're fucking sexist.
Typically, if you're in your own home, you're probably barefoot.
Man, no. So you believe women are only good for, and then we get in those weird fucking conversations.
And shit.
Yes. That's why I'm, Anthony, just live right now. That's why I'm like really like, I know we're gonna have some guests on the Red Pill phone tap, the Red Pill phone tap this year. By the way, it's hard to say when you're drinking Wild Turkey Rare Breed. When we have women on the show this year, I just know that's what we're gonna have to deal with. Like you and I are exchanging ideas like lightning speed right now.
Yeah,
where it's gonna be to a grinding halt.
Yeah,
when women come in. Oh, so you think women are only good for cooking? No, but I think women should be able to cook. Oh, so it's only good for cooking? You just think women are good for cooking?
I think that's why I said we got to limit them to an hour.
Because the show's going to come to a screeching fucking halt. But we digress. This gentleman was saying we should be sexist. No. Anthony and I have argued on this program, we are the most feminist. You know why? Because we actually hold women to the same standard that all humans are held to. You can come on this program with your woman fuckery and try that shit, but we will be like, if a dude said some shit like that, though, would that be fucking ridiculous? Or are you being patted on the head because you're a woman? You know, I mean, we don't like to get political in this show, but Anthony, I'm about to make Anthony really uncomfortable, ladies and gentlemen. Elizabeth Warren pointed out to Bernie Sanders in the debate recently, hey, there's a bunch of women on this stage, and they're the only ones that won elections. Anthony's just squirming right now. He's like, but had Bernie Sanders said, the only people on this stage that won election is men. Nope. There would be no applause for that. So ladies, this is what we're doing on the Red Pill Phone Tap. We are holding you accountable to the same standard as us. We're the most feminist.
Well, and my thing I was about to say on that, man, is when they play the role to use their gender, they said we don't use our gender against us. But then when they play victim because of the gender, you can't have it both ways, ladies. You can't play victim and then say, "Oh, we can do anything," and then we're like, "Wait, you're gonna do that to a woman?" And it's like, wait, which one is it? Like, you can't be a hero and a villain. Pick a side.
Yeah.
And because guess what? You're probably really good at the side that you're on naturally. And instead of, and this is what happens. You like to point to outliers instead of the general. And
that's their main argument, is some weird outlier shit. Women's main argument is like, not all women.
Right. It's my thing is, if you are the outlier, you can speak on it. But don't do this. Don't say just because you're the outlier that what I'm saying about the general is false.
Right.
Because that's what they love to do. They love to say, well, I can shut you down because I'm not that. Fine, you're not that. But guess what? Keisha, Tanya, Elizabeth, Susan, Maria, them bitches like that. So what you gonna say about them? Good for you, but I've been dating all these other chicks, and this is the general. So when I make that general statement and you have an outlier example, that don't make you right. It just make you able to point out one specific moment or a small group of people and
right.
Not the general group of people. So even though it comes off negative, like if someone say, well, hey, all black people steal, right? It can be like, well, shit. Do all black people steal? Or is this a group of black people that steal? Because I'm sure there's a group of white people that steal and Hispanics and Asians that steal. So it's not that one group of people only steal. It's everybody steals. It's something in every race. It doesn't. You can't just say that just because I got robbed by a black person that all black people rob people. That's not how that works. You can't just generalize it that way, but you can point out to your experience, right? You can point out to this what happened to me. So then now you're talking about something specific. But when you do it in the general sense, you got to have a lot more now. Because we like to come with statistics and come back with, I don't want to just say shit out my ass and then have to come back and apologize about something that I had nothing. That's why I'll tend to stay away from topics that I don't have knowledge about it. And if you're talking about it and you got more knowledge about it, guess what? If you're talking to me and I don't know it, I'm going to go look that shit up later.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not just going to take your word for it. We don't expect you to take our word for it when we say shit.
Well, a lot of people don't see the behind the scenes of this podcast. And we've thought about if there's anybody in the fucking world interested in it, like we've thought about like filming our pre-show. And one of the things that if you did film our pre-show, you and I do is we identify what do we think? Okay, so we've got what we think is this thing. And then you and I Google it and go, is it really that? We're not like, what do we think? And let's look up facts to support it.
Right,
That's
right.
not how we do our pre-show. Give you a perfect example. We were like, Corey Wayne does not talk a lot about dating apps. You and I have read the book. I believe I've read it 13 times. I'm pretty sure it's 13.
Yeah,
but
I'm
I would
in my
probably
20s.
But I would probably put it in my 20s because I go back and visit certain chapters. You know, yeah, because I'll be like, I'm at a point in my life. I'm like, I'll go back and all right, let me play this chapter again. So I would probably put myself in the 20s because I keep going through stuff, right?
Yeah, a lot of the book doesn't have to be recovered because it's kind of laying the foundation on why he believes what he believes and how he got.
Especially getting in a relationship, you really got to go back and be like, okay, I've been dating all this time, and then I'm in a relationship, but I genuinely want to know what are the facts. So when you and I are looking up, like live on the show today, we were like, all right, Corey Wayne does not cover a lot about online dating. You and I have read the book so many times, we both know he doesn't cover it. He also doesn't cover texting a lot in the book. This has become a big thing.
Yeah.
So we're like, what we think is texting and dating apps weren't a big thing. Well, hold on. Let's look it up. And then we went to go look it up. We're like, okay, he was published in 2013. Tinder came out in 2012. This makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
But we entered it with an inquisitive, curious mind. We would have been okay with being wrong about that. And we would have been like, man, I wonder why Corey left that out. You know, then we would have talked about that. We generally are trying to look at this very, very objectively. But when you first learn about the red pill, when you first learn about how women are, there's a lot of rage, isn't there? And that's really what this segment is about. You know, we were in a thread online, a discussion online, and they were saying to be sexist. And again, going back to your point, Anthony, you were just like, you can't reach this guy. You can't reach this guy. And I'm just like, no, but hold on. Come here. Clear. Boo. Like, I'm just like, clear. I can save him. I can save him, goddammit.
No, normally it's like this when I'm having discussions with guys that are kind of closed-minded to things, right? Because I'm big on learning. I love learning. I love finding out new shit. Since I was a kid, I love nature. And me, you.
We were watching
it. Yeah,
National Geographic show before the show, right?
So we were like
together.
It's cool shit to me to learn and be open minded to like. Well, damn, I didn't know that. That's you find out amazing facts when you learn shit and you're open minded to shit. But when I see someone that is, I got my mind made up. You can't tell me any different, and all I know is what I know, and it's like. If that's how you live your life, you'll never learn anything. You know, if you know everything that you need to know, and if I'm talking about what you're talking about, you just like you read a book and you interpret what the author is saying, and you say, this is why it's so important for he say read the book so many times, because you can get a different meaning out of it. Because when you're reading this book, you're probably at your most desperate point of in your relationship life. And so you're so eager to find answers on how to fix your problem in the moment that you're in, that's what you're searching for. You're reading this book and you're like, wait, this don't fit what I'm going through. This don't fit what I'm going. Oh, this looks like what I'm going through. So that's what you focus your energy and your reading on. And then once you finish reading that part and it looks like it's going somewhere else, you stop and you're like, oh, he gave me what I needed right there. So I'm going to go with that. And then I'm going to start working on that. But then he tells you, say, read this shit again. Because guess what? You're going to be in a different light later on. You're going to be able to already have absorbed what he said before. Because guess what? There's so much information that he gives. I mean, I love the guy because he was able to do what we have done for this podcast by getting a lot of information from a lot of other people and condensed it down to a book and was like, and his experiences by the information that he's got from other people, put it in this book and shared it and gave it away. Not he sold his book, but yeah, he gave it away because he understood it is more valuable for these people to know this than to hide it in a book where most guys won't do. Let's be honest. There's not a lot of guys reading out here. Mm-hmm. Right? I can't even say 50% of guys are out here reading. I can't say that confidently. So if he gives it away and now he puts it on YouTube and give you some snippets of how you get your ex back, how you get how do you know if a girl likes you, and why did she not call me back? Because she know you motherfuckers are fucking up out here. He know you fucking up out here, and he has the answers in his book. Now that he has laid it out, and you read through the book, and you have reached a different level in your relationship life, guess what? You in a relationship, and you still read the book because you still finding value in it. Because guess what we said earlier? It is your solid foundation of who you are. Now that you have become the book, that is who you are. That's why when I do these things, and when he was talking about I physically start sweating, because I am the book. I'm not going to fucking be on this phone long. I'm not going to text like this because this is not who I am. I've changed that. I've changed who I was to who I am. And this is why reading the book is so many times is so important. Now I'll get off my soapbox.
Anthony, again, I'm only going to compliment you again as the wisest man on this show, because that was absolutely the best table setting I've ever heard in my life for this segment that we're about to go into, called Red Pill Rage. You talked so much about foundation. What if you find out the foundation of your beliefs? What if you find out the past and the foundation of your beliefs? It's not true. Marinate on that a minute, and we'll share a quick story for Houstonians are going through this. Hurricane Harvey. I'll just share a quick story, and this will give you just a little pinprick of a window through what happened here in Houston. Hurricane Harvey happens, and the city's underwater, and everything's shut down, and people don't have power. You and I had a fantasy draft. Remember that?
Yeah.
And some people had power, and some people didn't, and the fantasy football draft, rather, can't be done in person because you literally can't drive places, right? And we're going to do the draft online because you literally can't leave your house.
Right.
You're stuck at home. The roads are all flooded, right?
Yeah.
Anthony, to get online, has to get a generator at a person's house that he's visiting just to have internet to be able to do the fantasy drafts. And for anybody who's played fantasy football, you know the integrity of the whole thing is you chose these players.
Yep.
And what happens is the draft has to get reset not once but twice. So the draft is fucked. So it's basically the whole integrity of the fantasy football league is fucked. We lost people that have been in the league for fucking 9 years left the next year. Like, this league's fucked.
Yeah.
It's fucking insane. I was breaking up with a gal at the time, and to try to kiss this bitch's ass, I would because I had power at my apartment, and I would cook her food and bring it over. Yep. We'll talk about that on a blue pill discussion later. But to get to a place that was a 10-minute drive, to get there, I had to take all these fucking back roads that weren't flooded, and it was like a fucking 45-minute trip just to bring this bitch food. The whole city's underwater. I mean, hurricanes are devastating. And for our listeners in New Orleans or on the peninsula of Florida, you guys have it even worse. And then what happens? There's a bright light. The Houston Astros. They come out of this hurricane. There's this bright light. Our baseball team is kicking ass. It's just, wait, they're winning crazy games. And we have this little short guy named Jose Altuve, who's the smallest guy in baseball, but he's going to win the Major League Baseball MVP. And could the Astros keep going in the playoffs? And we have this, even though the city's underwater, we have this one little ray of hope. Could they win the World Series? And then they win the World Series, and oh my God, the whole city of Houston, oh my God, we finally won a World Series after all these years, after Jeff Bagwell and Craig Biggio and Mike Scott and Nolan Ryan. We finally, after all this time, the Houston Astros have won a World Series. Oh my God, Anthony! After this hurricane, after the city's been through so much devastation, we finally have won the World Series. It's amazing. 2 weeks ago,
I was wanting the drama to build up. Go ahead.
2 weeks ago, we find out here in Houston, the team fucking cheated. In the 2017 year where we won the World Series, the team fucking cheated using cameras in the center field. Now listen to me. I want everybody to hear this podcast, because online, all you're going to hear are the meatball Astros fans who are like, whatever, man. I don't care if they rape babies. I'm still a fan. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. No, most of us here in Houston are like, really? So all those memories are tainted.
Yeah.
This is what red pill rage is. Swallowing the red pill, learning what women really are, learning what dating really is, learning what relationships really are, learning that a woman is not going to love you for you unconditionally. This is where red pill rage comes from. Yeah. Okay? All that I just described. We had a hurricane. We had a natural disaster here. We had a team lift us out of the mire and inspire us. And then we learned they were fucking cheaters the whole time. That's what red pill rage is. Learning about life and everybody telling you the whole time that you're growing up that life is the opposite, and then you're finding out now what it really is. That's where red pill rage stems from. Anthony, you had a great take on this because we were talking about this Facebook post of the gentleman wanting to be sexist. So I called you. I was like, man, how come you weren't more passionate about this? You said look, man, when you find out your past isn't true, like we found out the Astros, that inspiring thing that we all loved, it's not true. When you find out it's not true, you're mad. And you said all you can do now is be the opposite of what you were. I mean, tell our listeners about that, Anthony, because your takes on this are so good.
Well, and it all stems from experience, really. So when you don't want to be, just stemming from what Wesley was saying, finding out that everything that you knew wasn't true, and you believed it with all your heart. You did everything that you could to live that life and be what that was and be who you're supposed to be as a man and as a husband and or boyfriend, whatever. And then you find out that it was for naught because it wasn't real. And you can't imagine what that feels like until you were on that spectrum of what you call successful in it, right? And then what happens? You were successful and you fell on flat on your face. And you were like, it had to be something with me. Because this is the path that I was supposed to be on, and I fell off and fell flat on my face. So I did something wrong. And you did it again. You built up. You got successful again. You fell on your face again. And then you do it again. You be successful and you fall on your face again. And then someone tells you, "Hey, man, the reason you're falling on your face is because that ain't the path you're supposed to be on." Yeah, you can probably live your life in it and have some success and find success in it. A lot of people do. But a lot of people don't. And the reason they don't is because the narrative is wrong. The narrative, what you've been taught about the narrative, is deceitful because it only gives credence and validity to one side and one side only.
This is kind of the root of this show, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's just like you found out you were in this feminine-centric society that we live in. The reason people are listening to the show is because they realize none of this shit's true, right?
It's the
this is the landing
matrix.
Yeah, this is the landing pad, right? For our guys. I think for you and I, like we talked about this. This has been a week of like our show's getting more popular and more people are reaching out, and I can't save them all, you know. But for whatever reason, I don't have enough time, or they're unreachable. Like we use the gentleman who, hey, be a sexist, you know, like we use that. It's this is our life work, isn't it? You and I, Anthony. I mean, this is our life work. That's what this podcast is where you've arrived here, right? And you learned that all the shit you were being taught isn't true. Using the Astros as an example is a perfect example of that. We had this amazing thing, and then we realized it's all fake. It was all WWE. You know?
Yeah, that's big too. Being a WWE or at that time WWF fan and finding out that it's fake.
Yeah, the whole time.
and then you're like, wait, what? No, I can't believe that. You know what I'm saying? So I think if you come to the point of, you know what? Since that was fake,
what else is fake?
Everything's fake. Everything's fake, and I can't believe anything.
Anthony, can I share with you a quick story? I didn't mean to cut you off. Can I share with you a quick story?
What's up?
One of my favorite professors at Incarnate Word, for you guys, I always openly rep University of the Incarnate Word in San Antonio. What's up? What? one of my favorite professors at University of the Incarnate Word, history teacher. And I won't mention his name because he probably doesn't want to be associated with our work anyway. but honestly, he had this moment where he was asking, should we lie to children? And he was talking specifically about Santa Claus.
Okay.
And I'm just supporting your point here. He says he witnessed his grandchild being told, hey, Santa Claus isn't real. And so they tell him, like, hey, just, you want to hear it from us. The people at school have been saying Santa Claus isn't real. And, he'd finally reached an age, right? He's like, hey, it's not real.
How old was he, do you know?
I don't know.
Okay.
Let me not make it up. I don't want to make shit
Gotcha.
up. So I don't know. But he was just describing that he was there when his grandchild was being told Santa Claus isn't real. So whatever age it was, and he had been approached by people at school because that was why it got brought up. He's like, hey, I know there's a lot of people beating you up at school about Santa Claus. Check it out. Santa Claus ain't real. The first thing out of that kid's mouth, and if you're religious, this should fucking hit you like a baseball bat.
Mm-hmm.
He goes, the first thing out of his mouth, he goes, well, is Jesus real? Right? That's a problem. When you tell people lies all the time, now everything's up for a fucking debate, isn't it?
Right.
Motherfucker.
What else did you lie about?
Yeah.
The Easter Bunny, the Tooth Fairy. I'm going to tell you, I'll tell you, Santa Claus didn't fuck me up. The Tooth Fairy fucked me up. I believed in the Tooth Fairy, man.
Hey, hit some red pill rage on the Tooth Fairy.
Look,
go.
Go,
goddammit. I want to hear this.
Listen, it started with silver dollars. I was getting silver dollars from my teeth.
Hold on. Back up here. Hold on.
Yeah.
You were getting silver dollars for teeth?
My godmother was doing it.
What?
My godmother was giving me silver dollars from my
teeth. To the
teeth.
viewers of this program, if you've ever held a silver dollar in your hand, they're fucking heavy.
Yes.
By the way, a little bit of a coin nerd over here. I'm a little bit of a coin nerd. So I have held like genuine silver dollars, even like the most bullshit new silver dollars.
Right. They're significant.
That's like, what the fuck? It's very significant, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, if you're a kid, you're like, I never even seen these fucking coins.
Exactly. That's why it was so special to me.
Oh, my God.
It was so special to me. And when it didn't happen, I was like, hey, I even called my grandma. I was like, I think I got to come over there because the Tooth Fairy don't know where I'm at. I didn't get a forwarding address to the goddamn Tooth Fairy. This is
literally one of the greatest stories I've ever heard in my life. I'm being serious. The silver dollar thing, now I know with my own daughter, do not do the silver dollar thing. Because you're like, this fucking bitch is real.
Yes. The tooth was gone. Silver dollar was under my pillow. And this is what happened. I lost a tooth. I think I was playing basketball or some shit. I lost a tooth. And I was like, well, shit. Tooth Fairy gonna give me a silver dollar. So I put the tooth under the pillow like I normally do. Because like I was told, Tooth Fairy come when you sleep and give you a silver dollar. So I went to sleep for like 3 days that week. The tooth was still there. No silver dollar. Tooth.
And you're not reminding your parents because you're like, I don't need to involve these motherfuckers.
Right.
Tooth Fairy got me. Up.
Yeah, Tooth Fairy got me. So I don't need to say anything to anybody. Tooth Fairy didn't show up all week, man. So I'm concerned. Is the Tooth Fairy dead? What is the Tooth Fairy? Don't know where I am. What's happening with the Tooth Fairy?
And when you're a kid and you wake up and there's money under your pillow, it's literally like a miracle.
Yes.
Oh my God.
It is.
Holy shit. Until you brought it up, I forgot what it felt like. I was like, motherfucker, this bitch came and she lifted my head
right,
and took the tooth and then put the money underneath.
This bitch found my tooth valuable. You know what I'm saying?
You are killing me right now, man. You are killing me. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for our listeners. He's cracking me up hard right now.
So at this point, I'm very disappointed, man. I don't know if I told my mom or I told my godmother, but either my mom told my godmother and my godmother convinced my mom to do it, but I think my mom left me $5 underneath the pillow. But
it wasn't a silver dollar.
It wasn't a silver dollar.
What? And so you were like, wait, something's up.
Right. Because I've been getting silver dollars. Why am I getting $5?
I have to ask you, did you, as a young black man growing up, was the Tooth Fairy more important to you because every other mythical creature was a white creature?
Well,
I have to ask.
Because
our listeners want to know.
I never.
You never, because you're a kid. You're a kid at this time.
I never put.
Kids don't care about race.
No. I never put that on the Tooth Fairy. Like, that wasn't.
The Tooth Fairy is racist.
Because, let's be real, if any person of color is coming inside your house, even if they taking a tooth that you don't want, you getting shot. But I'm saying,
you know how I know you're honest, because kids don't fucking care about race.
No, we don't give a fuck about.
They don't fucking care. Only adults care about that dumb shit.
So I'm devastated, and I know somebody lied to me. Right? Should I be mad that the Tooth Fairy is fake, or mad that they didn't tell me it was fake? I had to find out on my own, based on my own reasoning, my logic and reasoning.
But walk our listeners through the anger.
Okay, so
you're like,
well,
what the fuck, man? They fucking lied to me.
Well, this is where I'm at. I got $5, but this is like a value that I'm like, okay, this is just like you saying,
yeah. But we still got a World Series.
Yeah.
No problem.
So it's like I got value, but at the same time, it wasn't value because of my tooth. So my tooth ain't worth shit.
Right.
So it's just.
Oh, well, more importantly, your belief is not worth shit.
Well, because guess what? I told motherfuckers at school Tooth Fairy real. You know what I'm saying? Look, I got silver dollars. I get silver dollars.
Yeah, you motherfucker. Maybe the Tooth Fairy don't visit your house.
Right.
But over on my crib, we getting silver dollars in this bitch.
And I'm like, my teeth are special because the motherfucker leaves silver dollars.
Maybe your parents are putting 50 cents under the pillow.
Right.
Tooth Fairy is coming to my crib for sure.
Yes.
For sure.
So, yeah, it was a life-altering thing for me as a kid, but as an adult, to have a belief, but see, it's worse as an adult. You believe something for much longer.
Right.
So now it's like a part of who you are. Now, when that core reasoning isn't real, there's a big shift you have to do to come all the way back to the other side.
And then, who are you as a person? Because
you don't know.
Your whole, and I wrote this in notes earlier, because you completely set the table for this. You talked about foundation.
Mm-hmm.
Your foundation is bullshit. The Astros, after the Hurricane Harvey, winning the World Series, uplifting the spirits of the city, it's fucking bullshit.
Yeah.
And and if you want to go into the specifics of the Astros, did they even have to cheat?
No. They were the best team without it.
But they did.
They did.
So now it's bullshit.
Yeah.
You know? And you think about that in this feminine-centric society. Just lying to everybody. Like, I saw, and this is, and I'm sorry for our listeners, sidebar to this. I was on the phone with my aunt, and so I didn't get to see it, but I saw a girl playing wide receiver in high school football or middle school. Again, I was on the phone FaceTiming. My daughter was over there, but I remember saying, so it was supposed to be like this big win that women are playing football. In 1,000 motherfucking years, I wouldn't let my daughter fucking play wide receiver in high school football, especially down here in Texas.
Yeah.
Motherfucker, are you insane?
No way.
There are black dudes here that look like they're 35 years old playing linebacker. They're not even D line. They're playing linebacker, blowing motherfuckers up, and they're 16 years old.
Yeah,
dude, it is like, is that some sort of like win that women are rushing out there to play against men and be fucking concussed?
Yeah.
What the fuck's going on, Anthony? Like, it's this weird feminine-centric society that we live in. And there's no wonder that there's so much red pill rage.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we're not here to tell you to get over it. No. That's not what this segment is about.
Definitely.
We're here to tell you we understand.
Right.
Yes.
Because I
and it's okay. It's okay.
You have to go through that. You just can't. That can't be.
You just can't
live
stay
your
there.
life.
You can't stay there.
You can't live your life that way. You got to go through it because guess what? Feeling that pain is necessary.
I feel like that's what our listeners were waiting for. Was waiting for us to do that thing that women do to men. Hey, man up.
Nah.
No, man. When you find out that what you were taught in this feminine-centric society isn't real,
when your foundation is broke,
your foundation is broken. You should be mad. The only thing we're telling you is, once you get through it, I need you to understand this, okay? A world without women, it's like a prison block, okay? And that's not how you want to live your life.
Mm-mm.
That's not how you don't want to live your life in a prison block. It's only dudes. There is a real value to women being part of this world. When you start to move out of the rage part of it, I need you to understand you don't want to live your life on a prison block, okay? You don't want to just live your life with just all dudes.
I want to ask you, when I was, when I was introducing you to the book and all that, did you hear any rage in me as far as... Because I remember you knew me when I was going through my divorce and all that, so you saw some of the aftermath, but you never saw me like go into a red pill rage where you recognized me hating women.
I know that you did do it, and I'll be honest, I'm being emotional live on the podcast right now. I know that you went through it. What makes me, because you and I are best friends, what makes me sad is I wasn't there for you. I know you went through it. What makes me sad is I wasn't there for you, because you were there for me during my red pill rage, where I'm like, these hypergamous fucking hoes, and like, but you were there for me every step of the way. You and I were able to, to our listeners that are listening for the first time, you arrived at the red pill many years before me. Would you say it's a good 5 years prior to me?
Yeah.
5? I think 5 is pretty accurate. You had a 5-year head start on me. But it makes me sad to think I wasn't there for you during your red pill rage. Because, guys, this is what we're not here in this segment to scold you about your red pill rage. About, hey, we gotta be sexist, right, guys? Yeah! Like, we're not here to scold you. This is part of the process. When you digest the red pill, the first stage is rage. Yeah. Okay? We're not here to scold you. That's not what this segment's about. We're just here to tell you there is life beyond the rage.
Yeah.
That's what we're here to tell you. And we're here to tell you life beyond the rage, it's a good life.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is where you finally become the captain of your ship. Mm-hmm. Yeah, man. I mean, seriously, I'm just live emotionally. It makes me sad that I wasn't there for you during the Red Pill Rage. You were there for me. You were there for me and kind of telling me like, yeah, look, bro, this is, I hate for you that you're discovering this is what the world is. Gravity exists.
Yeah.
But this is what it is. It doesn't get any better, but guess what? It doesn't get any worse either. That's what this is. I hate that I wasn't there for you when you were going through the Red Pill Rage. Anthony, I mean, we are very open with our listeners about our life experience. What was like some of your Red Pill Rage experiences?
I wouldn't trust women at all.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't trust anything about them. As far as I didn't believe anything they said. Yeah. And if they said anything let's say I thought they was genuine what they was telling me, I felt like they had a plot to build that they were building. Right. So even if I felt like they were being genuine, that they were going to either fall back on their word or they're going to use me in some sense, right? They're looking to take advantage of me in some way. And so my thing was to counter that was to take advantage of them first.
Ah, really? Really?
So instead of understanding what it was that they were doing, I was like, okay, how can I beat them to the punch?
Mm.
And that's what old boy is kind of...
Screw them before they screw me.
Right.
Yeah.
Even if they don't deserve it, I'm going to beat you first.
Yeah.
So I'm going to get what I can get from you. And that's why they say, hurt people hurt other people. So you can't live your life in this circle of rage because all you're doing is creating
more rage.
Yeah, and it's not healthy because you are being less. You're not connecting with people in this point. You're engaging them to cause some kind of hurtful emotion or reaction from them, and that can become your drug. Like my drug was, can I beat this bitch to the punch? And if I did,
it was just like screw women.
Yes.
Yeah.
How can I
make sure to screw women?
Oh, yeah. 100. And then look for the ones that are easily able
Screwable.
to be. Yeah. So I'm not even looking to date women on the merits of them being a good person. I just want to date them to hurt them. So that's my truth right there, right? But that was a small segment of my life. That's not who I am today. That's just that's how I handled the rage to flip it on his head. If none of this is true and none of this matters, then I'm gonna do you before you do me. And I can't, and I didn't have any remorse about it. You know what I mean? So yeah. I was able to just continue doing it. When I finally was able to kind of realize how my actions would. Now I started to look at it like, who am I? Is that who I want to be?
Yeah.
And when I realized that's not who I wanted to be, I started to say, okay, how can I build myself back up? Instead of blaming women and blaming the female nature, how can I live and survive knowing what female nature is and how women react and what they do in their subconscious, and no matter what, however I saw it in a negative sense, how can I survive in this? And the military taught me this, right? You have to adapt in all environments. No, you may be in an aircraft, but that aircraft may go down. and now you're in the ocean. You can't not know how to swim.
Yeah.
You can't.
But hold on, no. My job is to fly aircrafts, Anthony.
But you're not gonna owe. And well, guess what?
By the way, this is why I love our Captain and EXO analogy, because when you're in the ocean, life is at stake. When you were in the middle of the ocean,
well,
to your point, like, motherfucker, your plane crashes in the ocean. You better fucking know how to swim, like
at least float. So, there's a sense of survival, and instead of letting it happen to me, because that's what I was doing when I was enraged. I was letting it happen to me, just like he was letting the sexist label be put on him. He was letting that happen, so he just took it and said, okay, well, that's what that is. No, I had to figure out, who am I? So when I figured that out, and it wasn't overnight. It wasn't 6 months. It was years of building up who I am and who I wanted to be. So once I was able to do that, now I can affect people in a way of who I am, because I'm a naturally giving guy. I'm a naturally open guy. I'm honest. I didn't want to hurt these women. This was my reaction to women hurting me.
You know what we do in this podcast? This is going to be a tough question.
What's up?
On this podcast, we do specifics.
Okay.
Give us a Red Pill Rage story from Anthony.
I don't. God damn. Really, man? Because I don't want to be was he a real asshole?
Just give us a story. Like, I Red Pill Raged on this woman, but I'd be very different if I dated her today.
For sure. Damn. Well, and in this moment, being honest with women was easy for me, because I was done with the bullshitting and the being nice and sugarcoating shit. So, right. I would tell her that, hey, look, I ain't trying to be in a relationship. I'm not trying to be serious and all that. So, if we just gonna be friends, that's what I want to do. I'm not looking to be married, none of that shit, right? So we dated. When I say dated, we would go out, we'll go to each other's house, we hook up. I was still using Corey Wayne principles, hanging out, hooking up, having fun and hooking up. But what I was doing was not being emotionally honest. I'm
dating other women.
Yeah, I was.
Yeah, well, I mean, but you were acting like she was the only bitch in the whole world.
Yeah.
And that's terrible to do to women.
Well, it's this honest.
It's always terrible. It's always terrible.
It's this honest in a way that it makes you look. If she was to find out, right, and not from you, it makes you look really like, because you gotta think about all the.
Well, hold on. What does it make you look like? It makes you look like a bad person,
right?
Right. And by the way, none of us want to be a bad person. Even if you're, God damn it, what's Fidel Castro?
Yeah,
Fidel Castro probably had. He looked in the mirror and said something to himself. He was like, whatever. Everybody's stealing signs in Major League Baseball. Whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm using the Astros as an example. But everybody that's doing wrong shit has some sort of weird rationalization in their mind. But you were rationalizing and you don't feel good about this particular thing.
No. And the reason is because had I told her the truth about any of the things that I was doing, she wouldn't have been that open with me.
Oh, wow. Okay. Now I understand your pain. Yeah.
So
you were being falsely open.
Right.
And then she got really open with you.
Yeah. And I used it as...
All right. I'm going to make it hurt worse. Tell our listeners what she got open with you about. Anthony, I see squirming. But our listeners want to know this. I want them to know the bad side of this. When you just don't... When you're in red pill rage and you don't own your masculine frame, I mean, and then you just go out there with this red pill rage of I'm going to screw women. I want them to know, like, what is it that happens? Like, what do these women have at stake?
Well, she confided in me in a lot. She had, everybody go through things in their life that's not, on the up and up, but she went through a lot of shit, and
we do specifics on this program though.
Well, I mean, shit, man. She had a problem with her father's death. She had problems.
Immediately, all of our listeners was like, "Oh shit!"
Yeah.
So you were there for her father's death.
Yeah.
Acting like you're the boyfriend.
Well,
that's rough.
And she didn't really get along with her mom, so
so she's leaning on you
me.
hardcore.
She
oh
needed
my
me, right?
God! And you were like, "This is just some other dumb bitch."
I'm just fucking.
Meanwhile, she's leaning on you with a father's death.
Well, a lot.
That's why I wanted you to point out specifics. I want our listeners to know what red pill rage is.
But when she would lean more to like, because I was there, she has a trust for me where now it's like she wanted me for something, man. And I was like, no, I'm not going to that. But, I mean, I didn't feel obligated because I wasn't in a quote-unquote relationship, but I was playing the relationship role.
And you feel, and clearly, and for our listeners, they can't see Anthony's face right now. Clearly, you feel guilty about this. To this day.
I don't want to talk about this shit.
Well, no, I'm looking at your face, and you're like, this was red pill rage. I was just looking to screw over any woman because I think all women are evil. And
eventually they will be evil. That was my thing.
Yeah, the way we started this segment. Just be a sexist. All women suck.
Yeah, it's not a...
No, that's not what we preach on this program.
And you can't live your life like that without it bringing damage to you, right?
Right.
Because
Yes.
I find myself... If you're a friend of mine, whatever I can do for you, I will. And if I can, let me look outside of that and see if somebody else can. You know what I mean? Like, it's not that I take my friendships lightly. So when somebody depends on you that way, and then you're like, "Well, I don't see you in that same."
You're my best friend, so I can tell our listeners. Yeah. Anthony is a very passionate fucking friend, man. I mean, he is that guy. So this is not even someone you even fucking care about. But I do know your personal constitution is like, if this motherfucker says he's going to be there, he's going to be there. I mean, you and I had to pull a heist to go steal some of my shit from my ex-girlfriend's house. Yeah, immediately you start laughing. We had to go like pull a heist to like steal shit from my own shit from my ex-girlfriend's house. And you made that drive from Houston to Austin to like go get this motorcycle that I wanted. I mean, Anthony is that guy where he said, if he says he's going to be there, he's going to be there. For those of you listening on the East Coast, that's how we are down here in Texas. If we say, "Hey, that's my friend," that's a huge thing down here in Texas. For you West Coasters, everybody's your friend, and we're not dogging on West Coasters, but East Coast people, they started the whole friend thing, right? They were like, if you're my friend, and that's why when I meet people from the East Coast, I know it's super hard to become friends with them, but once you're friends, that's how it is. And that's what I'm trying to communicate to our listeners. That's how Anthony is. So for him to go just total red pill rage and be consoling someone that's going through a death, I can see the look on your face. This is torturing you even to tell this story.
Well, I mean, that's one situation too. You got me thinking about other bullshit I did. So, that's why it's important to understand that you can't do it and then it's not going to affect you or who you are. You have to go through it with the understanding that it's not anything you can change.
Hold on, I want to repeat what you just said. You can't do it and not have it affect who you are. When you go through, guys, you do have to go through your red pill rage. You have to go through the rage. The same rage all of us Astros fans went through. What? After the hurricane? We won the World Series? And Jose Altuve was the smallest dude in baseball? And we won the World Series? It wasn't real? Fuck! You have to go through that rage. But what Anthony is pointing out to you, wisest man on this show, what Anthony is pointing out to you is you can't escape all the fucking shit you do during this rage. And Anthony, I've never thought about it like that. I mean, you're right. When you're in a rage about anything, you can't escape when you're in a rage and you damage shit. Some of that shit doesn't get repaired, right? I mean, right?
Right. Like, I couldn't... The worst part is... Like, I broke up with this chick. I told her I ain't really want to see her again and this and that. But, this was like while she needed me, and I was like, hey, I ain't here for that. But it's one of those things where you still know this person, and she's fine, right?
Well, if anybody was in the room with you right now, they would know this still affects you.
Yeah, it's not.
I mean, you're very affected by this.
It's not cool treating people like that, man. Like, it ain't cool. So
yeah,
to know that.
Now, can I ask you a question? Was this what snapped you out of it, or did your red pill rage continue to soar even further?
Well, I was still in it, and it was more about the reflection, like as I was starting to get out of it, because when that person can't believe what happened, and they need answers from you.
Yeah.
Because they don't know, wait, what's just happened?
Yeah.
And so...
And then you're not really emotionally there.
No. I'm not. Yeah. I don't give a fuck.
Bitch, like, I'm trying to fuck. I'm trying to fuck and get out.
And I don't need nothing else from you.
Because all you bitches are evil.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Because if I didn't get out now, you was going to fuck me down the road. That was my mindset.
Right.
So now that I got in, I got you feeling good about shit, and then I left. And with like with no warning.
Yeah.
So how does it feel to open up to somebody, make you feel like, damn, this
is like headed towards a relationship.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This person gets me, and everything we're doing is
cool. Because you probably did get her, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And then you just...
And then I had something come up on Facebook that I had did with her.
Now that you're past your rage, you're like, man, that was fucked up. I can't believe I did that.
Right. Like, damn, I wouldn't I wouldn't do that again. I would never do that. I wouldn't wish that on anyone.
You're like, I wouldn't wish myself on anyone.
Right. Right. Not who I was then. No.
Yeah.
Definitely. You have to go through it, but how you go through it is more important. And I need you to be more knowledgeable and less emotional, because your emotions makes you what you despise about why you're enraged in the first place.
A lot of our guys out there, I have a newborn. Well, a newborn. She's 5 months now. And you just get to observe a human just learning about life. One of the most frustrating things for a infant is gravity. Because and you know, as an adult, everybody listening to this, as an adult, when's the last time you thought about gravity?
Oh no.
I mean, shit. You just know it's around and it exists and it ain't going away. You know, my little girl is struggling with it. She's like, she wants to test it. You even brought up a story earlier. Your son jumping off of a couch, he was trying to test gravity a little bit. Man, what's gravity all about, right? You want to test these things. And then when you find out gravity's for real, you're mad. But let me tell you guys that are going through this red pill rage, let me tell you, my little girl who's 5 months, she's going through gravity rage. Okay?
Yeah.
She's going through gravity rage. She's like, fuck. The difference is you guys have been lied to your whole life that gravity wasn't real, and you're just finding out. But don't worry. When you learn gravity's real, this red pill rage has got it's got a better conclusion. Okay? Mm-hmm. I want to share with you guys so that you guys know. And I hope this kind of gets guys out of the red pill rage mindset. Do you know what men are, Anthony? Men are the car. Think about all the shit that's involved in a car. Okay, think about the engineering. A Honda Accord, a 2020 Honda Accord. Think about all the engineering, the door handles, the engine, the suspension, just the remote to open the trunk. There's all this complex shit about a Honda Accord, right? That's what men are. Because men are better at most shit than women. I mean, they're just better. Physically, mentally, whatever. But let me share with you guys, and this is hopefully will help you guys pass this red pill rage. Men are the car. You know what women are? They're the wheels. It's a very simple instrument. Wheels haven't changed. The dynamics and engineering of wheels hasn't changed much in the last 100 years. I promise you. But let me tell you guys, if you ain't got wheels on that fucking Honda Accord, it don't matter what the fuck's going on. Like, guys, in your red pill rage, women are a very necessary part of all of this, you know. And hopefully, as we do this podcast, we'll go more into this. But guys, women are the wheels on the car. Men are the car. Women are the wheels on the car. It's a very, very simple part of the whole automobile. But it's very necessary to get you from point A to point B. We don't want the world to become a fucking prison block where it's just all dudes hanging out. Like, that's not what... That's what a lot of, Anthony, that's what a lot of our red pill rage guys are at. Who fuck these hoes? We just need to go to massage parlors and get our dicks jacked off. And, yeah, it's Anthony, you're already laughing, but I mean that's not how the world works, is it?
No, I can't imagine living my life without women in it. A lot of my friends are women, so, and not because I got friend zone, but genuine friends, right?
Yeah.
So it's women play a part for us because for instance, when you're on your purpose, right? You can be on your purpose without a woman, and women don't have to be involved in your purpose.
Right.
But when you're done and you've succeeded and, been successful in obtaining the height of your purpose, who you share it with? You don't want to share it with another guy.
Right. I mean, that's what we need to. That's the message for our Red Pill Rage guys. We're not here to shame you. We're not here to shame you. This is part of you digesting the red pill. Okay? You just learned this feminine-centric society. Everybody taught you. It's not true. And you're angry. And guess what? Me and Anthony, we are here to acknowledge your fucking anger. But we're also here to tell you there's life beyond that anger. And I think, Anthony, I think what this segment is trying to teach our listeners is there's a place to transcend beyond this.
Definitely.
Right?
Definitely.
Yes. There's a happier life.
Definitely a silver lining to this shit. Don't
It's like the Joker movie. Like the movie
I
doesn't.
haven't seen it.
I haven't seen it either.
Okay.
But the movie doesn't have to end in death.
Okay.
You can watch the movie and just be like, oh, okay, and then I can transcend emotionally. I don't know, man. The people that are in red pill anger, I handle them with kid gloves, Anthony, because I've been there. You've been there. We had an emotional moment on this show. I was like, man, I feel terrible that I wasn't there for you when you were going through this. It's a real thing. This wasn't a shaking our finger at people that are going through red pill rage. This is acknowledgement and letting you know, hey, there's life beyond this.
Yeah, and you don't have to take it out on anyone.
Yes.
You just be a better you, and you concentrate on yourself, and it will work out. It would just balance itself out once you say, you know what, I had bad information, now I have better information. I'm gonna work based on this better information.
Thank you.
And
yes,
and don't stop getting information after you get it, and now you're stuck because now you just got just a little bit of what was wrong. No, get the entire, that's why we say keep reading the book, keep digesting the red pill.
Yeah.
And it will get better, I promise you.
Well, we've talked about that in our personal discussions many, many times. We always say Corey Wayne was freshman year of college and AMS was sophomore year of college, and then Donovan Sharp was junior, senior year, and then Rollo Tomasi is like our graduate studies. I mean, you and I keep going, but I do like, Anthony, that we had a segment on Red Pill Rage, and it kind of organically happened, but
yeah, you fucked me up a little bit.
I like that it was, I don't know, man. If you're going through red pill rage, that's okay. But you know what? Me and Anthony are waiting for you on the other side. We're waiting for you over here. And guess what? There's a better life on the other side. Man. You and I started this podcast with trying to reach lots of people.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that this made an impact this week. because you and I are so passionate about this show. I mean, let's just be honest.
Yeah, and we take our pain and share those with you to let you know that it's real, and we understand yours is real too. But there is a better side to it. Where are they going to find us, Wesley, on these internets?
Well, they can email us at redpillphonetap@gmail.com. They can also reach out to us on Instagram at the Red Pill Phone Tap. Guys, wherever you're at in your Red Pill experience, we appreciate you making this show part of your day. We appreciate you joining us at
the Red Pill Phone Tap.
Good night, guys.